The question is, do you have the story about the rape? The guy that got raped by another guy?
Oh, Jesus. Tell me that one, Neil.
I don't know that story. George told me that Angela Ray was laughing about it on Channel 4 this morning. We've been scouring to find the story. We can't find it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. This place has been just fascinated with the Bill Parcells win last night.
And the word that I'm hearing is that Mo is jealous, is what I hear.
He's so jealous that he stole all the papers in the studio this morning.
He's so cheap. I cannot believe he took the newspapers. I mean, spend 35 cents there, Howard.
Yeah. Are you
I'm doing my expense.
Old New York Jew, is that what you're calling
Yes, he took the newspapers. Who does that?
When you get to be his age, when you get to be like close to 90 and you move to Boca, you're supposed to be cheap and old.
Listen, Neil, I need some advice. I'm doing my receipts for my trip to Vegas. Is there any inside information I should know because when you do
I'm glad that you started with talking about your receipts because money is the name of the game today. Guess who's getting screwed, speaking of the story you were just talking about? Guess who's getting screwed big time? Your close personal friend, Scott Jr., is taking it up from the Beasleys and Greg Reed and Clarence and all these liars at our radio station, and we're going to go on a campaign. They don't want to pay him.
I have no comment. I was going to ask you about they've already asked me to shut up about that issue, and I answered their request. But my question is, when you do your numerous...
Wait a minute. What do you mean they've asked you to shut up about that?
Listen, I answer every question you ever ask me. Every one of them. I'm not afraid of saying, who the hell do you think went in there and fought for him to begin with?
Right.
Okay, I've already gone in there so many times and said they're doing him that they finally told me to shut the F up.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Well, I tell them, screw you guys.
Okay? No, listen. I'm going to eat a steak today at Shula's. I got $2,000 in receipts here. I need to know how to do this so that I get put it all in. Everything. Don't even leave it.
You're making the kind of money they're paying me, and I have no idea why. But when you're making this kind of money, I don't put anything in. I got my own radio station.
Yeah, I know. I pay for everything until I started working here.
I pay for my paper. I pay for my toner. I pay for everything.
I pay for everything too, but it's not like I have to pay for anything because this place is a dump. But I don't have any
kind of money. Make them pay.
Yeah, that's right.
The Beasley still had the first 2 nickels they ever earned.
I believe that.
The only money that they ever spent was up to buy the banjo so they could sit up in the tree and play melodies back to each other.
I'd love to see that.
The guy in Deliverance, that was one of the Beasleys. You don't understand that.
I saw that movie, Irreversible, about the rape. You talk about the rape on the UM campus. You should see that movie that George turned me on to. It was some chick getting raped. My God, I was on the airplane. I thought I was going to poop my pants.
I got the Playboy TV cranked up here just in case.
Anyway, I'm sorry to hear about your colleague in there. I've been fighting for many years for the betterhood of my civilian friends and colleagues.
We're on the verge of losing Scott Jr. there. I mean, look, let's face it.
He's threatened to move to Tampa like they give an F if he moves to Tampa.
It's not a new position. We already had the incoherent one before who was getting paid, believe it or not.
Oh, you mean the guy that OD'd that we saved his life?
Yeah, exactly. That's the one. We had to fire his ass, and so we brought Scott in there, and it's the same position. But now they're saying, well, there are all these budgetary cuts that we can't put.
Well, at least he shows up every day sober and produces.
We can't put a trained monkey in there to do the job. Well, he'd probably be a little bit more conversant.
I think you should let me live in your house in Plantation and take care of it. I think the guy that's taking care of it now is not doing an adequate job. I think you need to give me the Corvette in the house. I'll only stay there when you're not in town, which is always.
I'll give you a quick answer.
No. How about I offer you a bunch of money?
No.
How about I clean your car every day for the rest of your life?
No.
You could lick the car.
How about if I send you 16,000 Klondike bars?
I can't afford to have a degenerate life.
How about I buy you a Toronto Maple Leaf season ticket package?
God knows the kind of debauchery.
How about I give you an addition to Hockey News and to Gay Pride magazine?
In fact, that's the only reason they hired you is to make me look better by comparison.
The only thing I want to do
You're the only broadcaster in America they could find who's more perverted than I am.
I just want to contribute to the greatness of you. And really, I already know I'm an asshole, but I want to contribute to your
I already got
greatness.
irritable bowel. Now the suction's so heavy duty, I'm going to have to make a quick run.
No. You only get that looseness at Howie's, baby.
Yeah. You know, you're joking about that, but the truth of the matter is, do you remember when I was down there the week and they brought, you wouldn't know because you weren't paying any attention, they brought like about 70 strips of bacon with my name on them.
Oh, I remember you had it all over your face.
And I ate all of it. And
I know, that was impressive.
My insides are still not recovering from it. I fried my guts from that.
You see me,
your food is great, but you're killing me.
I eat with no utensils at all, and I drink syrup.
Yeah, this is the only guy that I ever saw eat pancakes and waffles with no utensils.
You know, when I go to Canada, I just stick my lips on a tree and I just suck real hard so that I can have just maple face.
I don't want to screw up your lunch at Chula's today, but aren't you a little bit reluctant when you go into a restaurant and they bring you the menu on a football? Doesn't that like kind of, I don't know, even a sports nerd like you?
I'm just concerned that Dave Gurgley
swing club where they serve dinner and go in and they bring you the menu on a gigantic penis.
Do you think? I think Mandich is going to try to push Michigan on me today.
Lines he could have thrown back, but he's always getting ahead of himself.
I've never actually had a football in my ass or a large penis near my face.
Right.
But I'm thinking.
I don't believe that. You've never had a large penis near your face?
Not really near my face. No, I haven't had a large penis near my face. But I've had my penis near faces.
Yeah.
I've delivered a couple of, as I call them before, surfboards to the lip.
Ask Joe Costello about the old trolls with their penis.
Who's Costello? The guy that fixes nothing? Right?
Yeah, Lou Costello.
I thought you meant we got to get Fix-It in here to put up our new Oreo basketball hoops. We got Oreos coming out our ass up here. Don't you like chocolate sugar, man?
What do about Scott Jr.? You think we can salvage this deal or not? Come on,
if he even mentions lawyer or he threatens to move, dumb move, I think he should. What we should do is. I think he should just start sleeping at Duff's house until he gets money. Show up at Duff's house tonight and tell him he's hungry.
Oh, yeah. Duff said he had an open invitation for him. I don't know what he meant.
I think he should.
Fucking great.
I think he should try to get into the back seat of Clarence's car, and when Clarence is driving, I think he should blindfold him.
Clarence sounds good. I think that might get him in tight.
I think he should ask Clarence if he wants to go to Shula's today for a steak on the Beasley credit card.
Yeah, maybe they could share some tender meat.
Yeah, it'll be great because I'll go over there and rack up another big bill today and turn that in on Jen's ass down in the business office.
Man. Make those Beasleys
pay. Here's the latest story. Some guy over there in sales accused me of inviting drunks to the QAM luxury box.
Excellent.
I never invited anybody anywhere.
Beasley tab, I'm all for it.
I don't invite anybody anywhere.
Naples, you're not fooling us, okay? Cheap.
Turns out the guy they said that I did that to is a psychopath. I don't know. They said he was in a rubber room, and I'm.
It's about 10:30. Have a great day, Scott.
Hey, and listen, Neil. Remember, thanks for breaking the story about the dead guy yesterday.
This is Sonny Fox, and I listen to Neil Rogers because I can hear the word asshole.
New from the makers of Kotex, it's Vibratex. The super absorbency and convenience you expect from Kotex, but with 3-speed vibrating action now that turns a week of mood swings, bloating, and cravings into a week of smiles, squeals, and shudders of delight. Vibratex. Each insert has a built-in mini vibrator powered by an Energizer watch battery that keeps going and going and going. Just pull the string to change speeds from 2 So the next time your special friend pays you a visit, put a smile on her face. From the makers of Kotex, it's Vibratex. Just look for the box that keeps jumping up and down on the shelf.
10:09 at 560 WQM. God, it's almost the end of the first hour already. Nice going, Scott. Appreciate the help. Anyway, we almost have to do the first break now, you know what?
I know. Let's go.
And we were really poll intensive, man. We got polls up the butt. I guess a lot of you can relate to that. I think this is the hour that they only play the music in the background. We don't have to worry about the words.
Right.
On Playboy TV.
Sounds are okay, right?
Yeah, sure. What's wrong with that?
Never read anything in the NEFCC memo.
You could see the picture. It's on there right now. You'd say, hey, I got a headache. I got to leave. At any rate, the poll yesterday, who's the coolest of them all? Which well-known person best defines the word cool? And did I have it or what? 1,139 votes. Had my thumb right on it. As usual, I had the wiener. Jack Nicholson, by almost 100 votes. 205 for Jack. Clint Eastwood, 108. Johnny Depp, 105. Hugh Hefner, 105. Bill Clinton, 103. Christopher Walken, 71. And look at that, Neil Rogers and Jim Mandich.
All right.
A flat-footed tie. We each had 69, which I think there's something significant about that. 69 votes. Isn't that incredible? And you want to know why? Because we're like partners. We're partners in crime in the 10 to 3 time slot. That must be it. Although Mad Dog went on there very late, so, if he would have been on it early, in fact, he just passed me 70 to 69. Robert De Niro, 59. George Carlin, 50. Snoop Doggy Dogg, 41. Scott Farrell, 34. I'm surprised at that.
Why is that?
I thought he was Mr. Cool. At least he does. George Rodriguez, 23. Michael Moore, 21. Joe Perry, 19. Steve Tyler, 17. That's ridiculous. Dennis Hopper, 17. David Beckham, the soccer player, 13. And John Waters, 10 out of 1,142 votes. A lot of votes. A lot of votes. Mad Dog edges me out by 1. I thought I was as cool as 42 pounds of steaming elephant excrement, wouldn't you think?
Steamy.
That's how cool I am. So anyway, the Herald finally discovered that Don Cox passed away. We'll get to that. They got a story. Sun Sentinel knows nothing. Even though Muff told me he called Tom Jicka.
What do you call him?
An asshole. And I said, yeah, you know, Duff, for once you're right. Don Cox.
Party. Yeah.
Died in his sleep. I'll say one thing. He was only 55.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go, that's the way to go. Wouldn't you agree with me?
Sure enough.
Boy, I think that's everybody's desire, is like just out of nowhere, not to go through any kind of like serious illness ahead of time,
right.
All kinds of pain, and just all of a sudden one day you don't wake up.
Either that or explosion.
I was thinking that could happen to somebody we know tomorrow.
Absolutely. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Gang rape is funny.
Bobby, open the door.
What do you want?
What are you doing in there?
Nothing.
I know you're doing something.
Leave me alone, old man.
Well, little Bobby's up in his room logging onto his new Dell PC.
Are you online again?
Leave me alone.
And he's downloading music from Casa and swapping it with his buddy.
I don't want you doing anything illegal in there.
I'm doing my homework.
Well, he got the new John Mayer and hasn't even hit the store.
I hear music playing in there.
But there was trouble when the federales knocked on little Bobby's door.
Hey, straight up pipe with that rat.
They threw his little body in a squad car and hauled him away.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
Take him away, officer.
They fined him $20,000 and they're gonna make his parents pay.
This is coming out of your allowance, son.
'Cause it's not legal to take music without paying on the internet.
But everybody does it.
Now little Bobby's facing charges and he's not out of the 5th grade yet.
I suppose if Billy jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge, you would too?
Now the tiny tot's in trouble and he's got no idea what he's done.
It's just music. I didn't kill anybody.
They treated him like he was Al-Qaida or J. Simpson.
It's still stealing, Bobby. It's wrong.
And the lesson to be learned is one you should know from the day you're born.
I'm sorry. Maybe next time you'll listen to me.
Don't get caught downloading music. Save your disk drive memory for porn.
10:18 at 560 WQAM. Happy Tuesday to you. So the bad news, which we passed along to you yesterday, but at least the Herald has got the story. Veteran South Florida disc jockey Don Cox passes away. Died in his sleep Monday morning in Atlanta, said friend and former colleague Kid Curry, program director of Power 96. Cox on the radio, as he was known, had been living with his mother. He was 55. That's depressing to me.
Yep.
That doesn't sound like a real
Party. Yeah.
No.
He didn't wake up, Curry said. Cox's gravelly voice. In fact, see, I don't think probably Pharrell doesn't know who that was. But I think there's a little similarity there. I mean, Pharrell's more gravelly than anybody who's ever been on the air, but there's a little similarity, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Incoherent, little booze, a lot of booze.
I don't
At
think
any
Pharrell
rate.
shows up drunk.
What's that?
I mean, I don't know that for a fact.
Cox's gravelly voice and sometimes bawdy on-air persona made him a star DJ for 3 decades in South Florida. The Sun Sentinel, though, hasn't discovered he died yet, even though Muff called Tom Jicka. Tom, you're an idiot. You continue having no interest in anything that's going on in the local area. It's all these puff pieces about network TV shows where they wine and dine your little bald ass out there in L.A. It's pathetic. It's tragic. I mean, when even the Herald beats you out by a whole edition, they got this whole story in there by Howard Cohen, good Jewish boy.
Oi!
Cox came to prominence in South Florida on Y100 in 1973 when the Johns dominated the top station's playlist. Elton John, where did this come from? Elton John, John Denver, and Olivia Newton-John. What is that? Like I said, this Howard Cohen, man, I think he ate too many stale halavas. He worked briefly in Los Angeles at the height of disco in 1977. When disco died and urban rhythms arrived, Cox followed the beat back to South Florida. He returned to Y100, then to contemporary hit radio Power 96 in 1986. In 2001, he ended his South Florida tenure with a brief 4-month stint at KISS FM, KISS Country. After throat surgery, WKIS chose not to renew his contract, and he moved to Georgia to care for his mother. It's always said when a friend who has so much talent and who is such a loving father and nice guy dies, Curry said in a phone interview from Power 96. The two had recently spoken, Curry said, and Cox sounded fine. He told him,
Party. Yeah.
I feel for his kids. It's just a shock, Curry said. Cox had 2 children and a stepdaughter with his 4th wife, Marge Cox. Cox was known for his on- and off-the-air antics. He was the quintessential rock and roll DJ, said Bill Tanner. What? Who, as previous program director for Y100 in the 70s and Power 96 in the 80s, hired Cox at both stations. I heard that Tanner liked Cox. Perhaps inspired by TV's wacky sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati, Tanner and Cox came up with a novel idea. The DJ would broadcast his first Power 96 show live from atop the former Coppertone billboard in North Miami Beach. Do you remember that?
Nope.
I don't either. Except that the mechanical arm that made the dog pull the little girl's blue bathing suit down conked Cox on the head, forcing the DJ off the air into the hospital.
All right.
He was always having things like that happening to him. He was such a character, Tanner said. Personal problems threatened to derail his career, however. In 1991, he was arrested for drunken driving, had his license suspended for 6 months. In 1986, this is the thing I was talking about yesterday. In 1986, he claimed he was beaten by 4 men who abducted him after his air shift on former WINZ-FM, now Zeta. It used to be I-95, by the way, Howard, who you don't know what you're writing about. I-95. He didn't file a police report. I remember that very vividly. Let's see, 86. I was working at INZ on the AM.
Okay.
And there was this whole strange thing about claimed to be abducted and beaten up. Of course, he didn't have a scratch on him, which was kind of strange. In 1980, he was charged with cocaine trafficking and served 4 months. Despite those setbacks, if you look back at the history of South Florida radio, I think Don's name will always be remembered, said Adam Jacobson, editor with the LA Trade Magazine Radio and Records. He spoke to 2 generations of South Floridians. Everybody knows Cox on the radio. Anybody who's been in town more than like 5 months?
Right.
Of course, this is going to get Mo upset. Oh, here's the story. All right. Thank goodness.
All right.
Going to get Mo upset. We're talking about dead people. In fact, I'm doing that whole series of polls, not the first one we're going to do today, but the whole series of polls, thanks to 2 things. Mike in Coconut Creek, who had a good poll suggestion on a fax, and the fact that we know that Mo gets apoplectic over the fact that we talk about dead people. I know one could be next, Mo.
Absolutely.
But at any rate, the last time we did that South Florida radio dead personalities thing, he went ballistic. And
Why?
The good news, speaking of all of that, the good news is, since he's so wild about the fact that everybody listens to this show and virtually nobody listens to his, is the fact that the ratings are coming out Thursday at 11:30 a.m.
Oh!
I think it's going to be gigantic. I rarely go out on a limb, you know?
Right.
I think it's going to be big because it's going to be June, July, and August, which is 3 months of us being back 10 to 2, 3 months of Pharrell as the lead-in and being on as part of that morning show. I think we're going to kick some big, big bloody ass. Even
Roy!
Never saw bloody ass like that. So here's the story. There was concern on the campus of the University of Miami this morning after police say a male student was sexually assaulted. Police said the teenage victim, who was accompanied by his parents, reported the assault to the University of Miami's Department of Public Safety Wednesday. Well, today's Tuesday, so this is almost a week it took this to get to Channel 10 News. Coral Gables, police sex crimes investigators were called and began an investigation. Police say the teenager was showering in the men's locker room at the campus's wellness center on Tuesday when he was assaulted by an adult male. You don't think it could have been Clarence, do you?
It says adult male.
Oh. How about the Beast? He's a big male. I'm trying to think of anybody who's a UM groupie who might be hanging around on campus, lurking in the showers, waiting for an opening. In the wake of the assault, university officials are beefing up security. See, it could be the Beast. They're beefing up security. Administrators have also sent out emails alerting students about the attack. Student Allie Rubin says she won't be taking any chances when she goes to the gym. We're going to go together to the gym, or else I'll just bring my towel with me or get dressed here, she said. I'm not going to use the locker room now. I mean, that's kind of scary. You go in there and do your own stuff, and you get raped at it. That's messed up, said student Eric Firestone. Right now, the only details police are releasing about the attacker is that he's described as 6 feet tall with blonde hair. I guess that's not the Beast. Investigators are asking anybody with information concerning this attack to call Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS, 471-8477, 471-TIPS. Oh, that's not a play on words, is it? Oh, God. Well, it's just what it says here. I'm just doing my duty, man, to try to alert for the mad rapist on the U of N campus. About 6 feet tall. Mo ain't no 6 feet tall. I'm thinking maybe he wore his blonde piece that day, you know?
That's a good point.
Could be. Could have been the Mo man.
Absolutely.
He's bigger than that whole rape thing. Maybe he's just trying to get even now for always being on the receiving end. In fact, I asked Mad Dog, I said, if Mo had been a football player like you, or what position do you think he would have been? Wide receiver.
It's better to give than to receive. Just
see, Mad Dog was a tight end. Mo, he says, would have been the wide receiver. 26 past. Okay, here's the first poll today. The other one, and again, thanks to Mike in Coconut Creek, you've inspired me for days on end. Which, let's face it, that's what this town is into. That's the meat and potatoes of this show of life. That is polls, man. We like our poll. Here's the first poll today, which will be up. It's already up there. Look at that.
Yeah.
They've discovered it. And you win today so far. Who's the biggest nerd of them all? We did yesterday. Who is the coolest? Who is the biggest nerd of them all? When you think of the word nerd, whose name pops into your mind? Adam Sandler was my vote. Rick Riley, Carrot Top, and Bill Gates. Those are the ones we have on there to start with. So far, Bill Gates got 14 votes of the first 26 who discovered the poll was up. Carrot Top 5, Adam Sandler 4, and Rick Riley's got 3. Don't you think Rick Riley has a disadvantage because most people don't know who the hell he is anymore?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, we could play some bits.
We could play. I just might be inspired to do that. 26 after 10 at 560 WQM. If you're looking for a really great new place to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, let me tell you about Vic and Irv's, one of the treasures for my hometown of Rochester, New York. I could throw a brick from where I'm sitting right now in Toronto across the lake to Rochester, right across Lake Ontario.
Go do it.
Vic and Irv's has been around. I might just try it. Since 1934, they've been doing it right. They're located on Federal Highway, just south of Broward Boulevard and the tunnel on the east side. Vic and Irv's is a flashback in time to what restaurants used to be before fast food, all that junk. Go in and enjoy a hamburger or a hot dog served the old-fashioned way, hot, fresh, and fast. Vic and Irv's was brought to Fort Lauderdale by the same guys feeding you cheeseburger. Vic and Irv's uses the same fresh 100% ground chuck meat as cheeseburger, and offers an incredible quarter-pound hot dog, too. A big fat one. What makes Big and Irv's different from anybody else in town? Their burgers and dogs are served with Vic's signature meat sauce poured on top, giving you a combination of flavors available no place else in town. It'll make your kishki sing. If you're looking for something else to try, Vic and Irv's has got lots of great dishes. They got a great breakfast menu, omelets cooked to order, French toast, pancakes, all your favorite good stuff. Go by Vic and Irv's and see what all the talk is all about and why it was so popular in Rochester for a coon's age. Vic and Irv's, they're on Federal Highway just south of the Broward Boulevard and the tunnel on the east side. And be sure and tell them that old Rochesterian Neil sent you by to Vic and Irv's.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil got out WQAM, where the faggot is. Oh!
Have you seen the show? Have you seen the show where everyone's in the know? Everyone's in the know. They're all in on the scam, the sham, flim flam, except for Joe Schmo. Tries to win all the games, learning everyone's name, but he don't have a clue that it's not true. He'll go down in flames. When he finds out, it'll be a shock, national laughing stock. But nobody will see, cause it's on Spike TV. He's such a gullible, simple sap, caught in a booby trap. But nobody will see, cause it's on Spike TV.
Now, do you think that's kind of like a silent tribute there to John Ritter? I say silent because it doesn't say anything about Three's Company.
But we get it.
But we all get it. Don't we get it? Good. If you don't get it, too bad. By the way, Scott better get paid starting next week. Scott Jr., we have this big controversy going on. I got so much other crap going on here, I don't want to leave that out. But the Beasleys are trying to, play fast and loose with our emotions on this show. Always try to give us as little as possible. Always try to give us as nothing. Because
that
first of all,
ungrateful old man.
we don't do a sports show. That's number one, so we're small potatoes. And number two, well, they're paying Neil all of that money. Well, they're paying Neil all that money because I'm making them millions of dollars. That's why they're paying me all that money. It has nothing to do with anything. If they weren't paying zillions of dollars for the broadcast rights for all these damn sports teams, most of which nobody cares about, including even the great Marlins, then maybe they wouldn't have such a tight budget, with all the money that they're billing. Oh, we're the number one biller in the market. Yeah, well, how come you're so goddamn cheap? That's the question everybody wants to know with all these budget cuts. Take care of Scott, okay, Clarence, and quit taking a lot of crap from Greg. Greg's excuse yesterday was he was all busted up about his good buddy Don Cox passing away. Always got some excuse, Do you really believe that?
Do I believe it?
Does anybody believe that?
Whatever.
No. I mean, Kid Curry was a lot tighter with Don Cox than Greg Reed ever will be, even though Greg tried to rehab him there with that Kiss FM thing. But in the meantime, I saw Kid Curry came to work yesterday, didn't he?
No.
He did. Sure he did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. See? Misinformation again. Just another excuse. They're just stonewalling you, Scott. I told you that all along. They're just delaying, and they're hoping you're just stupid enough to keep showing up without getting paid. Well, we've come to the fork in the road. We've come to that line drawn in the sand. And I'll tell you one thing, if there's nobody sitting in that room next week, you sure as heck can't do both things. You can't be in two places at the same time. I can't be in three places at the same time, so we could have, just the audio from Playboy TV.
And no spots.
Yeah, the spots you won't get on.
Right. You know, I could just load them all up.
She's sucking her own fingers.
Ooh.
I beg your pardon?
I could load them all up in one giant break.
Yeah, we could just take one giant break each hour. I'm sure the clients would like that real good. Yeah, your spot's going to be one, kind of like on the Howard Sperm show, one out of about 500 spots in a row.
16 times 4 is
64.
Right.
64.
So just the first hour is all the spots.
Oh, my.
And then
that's the way to do it. Get him some money, okay? The amount of money we're talking about is so embarrassingly little. That's the really sad part of it. If we're talking about real money, I mean, we're talking peanuts.
Nobody told him that yet.
Of course, they might have to pawn the banjo over there in Naples to get the money to pay Scott.
That'll never happen.
Paul Schaefer. This is an excellent choice for our poll today. Paul Schaefer, how do we leave him out? I can't stand him. Although he has a wife, and he's heterosexual, but he's one of the faggiest, nerdiest people I've ever seen. Paul Schaefer.
Good
people
one.
You would... that's another great poll for someday. Don't let me forget it. Write it down. People who you think... How do you word it? Are gay, but it turns out that at least they're married or something like that, which doesn't prove
We'll figure it out. We got time.
You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
People like Paul Schaefer, people like Rob Lowe, people like Tom Cruise, people that just generally everybody thinks is a fag.
Straight people who you are sure are gay. We can put straight in quotes.
Okay, well, I'll work on the wording. You're not too good on the wording. Non-specific terrorism rumor unsettles Miami. And you didn't even hear about this, did you?
No, I didn't. Should I be worried?
Well, you don't live in Miami. Well, you're like right on the borderline.
Be afraid.
Exactly. The Miami Police Department yesterday alerted the public to the possibility of a terrorist attack in a move city, and police officials said was designed to allay the fears of some residents and business owners who were alarmed by rumors of an attack this week. I only pass this along as information. We don't want to get anybody panicky. In a warning issued late yesterday afternoon, police said the FBI had received a threat last week and passed it on to authorities in Miami. Although the FBI did not consider the threat credible, police spokesman Delrish Moss said the department took it seriously. We got... What did I do?
They have that on the trees.
Delrish Moss?
Yeah.
Oh, it's an Australian variety imported along with the bufo toads from South America. We got information from the FBI during the latter part of the week that we should be extra cautious in the greater Miami area, specifically downtown, because they had gotten non-specific, non-confirmed information that warranted them giving us a threat warning, Moss said. They weren't able to give us anything specific. I wonder if he's kin to Randy Moss. Moss said the threat mentions a possible terrorist attack for today, Wednesday, or Thursday. As a precaution, he said, police became more active over the weekend but did not inform the public of the threat. We decided we'd step up our efforts in the abundance of caution and not do anything to alert or alarm the public because we didn't have anything to give them, Moss said. We won't go into specifics about what the extra steps are because we don't want to give away our plans. The threat received by the FBI was reported by a person outside of Miami, said Judy Oruelo, FBI spokeswoman in Miami. Field agents in Miami did not investigate the claim, she said. Oruelo said she didn't know whether FBI or another agency had investigated the tip, but that FBI headquarters said it wasn't credible. Wow. Don't you feel better now?
No.
We passed the information on even though we deemed the information not credible, Oruelo said. Everything is taken seriously pretty much nowadays, just in case. Just in an abundance of caution. By Monday, word of the potential terrorist activity in downtown Miami had begun to spread, so much that police began receiving calls from alarmed downtown business people. Moss said he'd heard some businesses were evacuated, but police were not involved. How do you like that? Some businesses were evacuated.
How come we didn't look out like that?
Because you're not in Miami. You're like almost to the Broward line. You could run from there to the Broward line.
No, time me.
The alert issued late in the day said the department would take extra precautionary measures over the next 3 days to ensure public safety. Police asked Miami residents to go about their everyday activities, said they did not recommend that anyone alter their daily routine. However, the alert asked residents to remain vigilant to terrorist activity and report suspicious persons or activity to law enforcement. Okay? Remain vigilant. City Commissioner Joe Sanchez, who first learned of the threat yesterday afternoon, said the police absolutely did the right thing. Any threat should be taken seriously, Sanchez said. What happens if you don't put out the advisory and something happens that burns us? We don't want to do that. In other words, Joe is saying we covered our ass.
It
It burns, right. Ouch. Such terror-related tips plentiful since the 9/11 attacks often prove to be without merit, Orwella said. They think they're doing the right thing. She said to the Miami police warning, you want to err on the side of caution. But nobody get panicky because it just don't have no credibility. But it could be today, tomorrow, or Thursday. But probably not.
I think we should evacuate the building just to be on the safe side.
I think we should just evacuate. Dig one.
Too late.
Everybody take a big dump. Yeah, I already did mine. You already done yours.
Right.
How about Scott? Scott probably can't afford to take a dump because he's not eating these days. Well, you can't eat very much when you can't got no 2 nickels to rub together. When you're not getting paid by a bunch of cheap rednecks. God, it's scary. And this business that they told Pharrell to shut up about it. Well, what kind of crap is that? You know, he actually, for all the bluster he gives out, he's at least intelligent enough to know when to back off a little. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's got that survival thing now after getting canned many, many times.
Absolutely.
Cholesterol-lowering drugs. Remember I told you this? Who was that Dr. Macaulay Culkin, the Kilmer, or whatever his name is?
Yes.
That great book about folic acid and the B vitamins and homocysteine. And I know my homo, man. Well, that probably was the best book on health I've ever read. I'm not going to go into this because I know it's very boring, but just passing it along for your information. In fact, we'll put some Playboy music in the background just to make it a little more titillating, okay? Cholesterol-lowering drugs may do more harm than good. That's a new British Columbia study. A big thing on the papers here this morning about it. Probably in the papers there, maybe, right behind the obits. Cholesterol, that's like Zocor and Lovastatin, and what are the other ones? Mevacor. Yeah, you know, you see them on TV all the time. They're spending billions of dollars peddling this crap. Just like my Dr. Dick was having me take that Zocor, which then I read the side effects. I said, I don't think so. And I read that book by Macaulay Culkin, whatever his name was. What's the name of that book? Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's down there somewhere. But at any rate, he said that these drugs are all that the side effects are much, 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 much more dangerous. In addition to which, it's not the cholesterol that kills you. It's the bad cholesterol. It's the whatever it is. Yeah, homocysteine. The homo levels in your system. I'm telling you right now. But this is just another scam by the pharmaceutical companies to sell all these so-called statin drugs. Oh, yeah. Okay, don't stop taking it if you're taking it based on my account, but you might want to do a little reading on this today, okay, and find out that another one of those areas, don't get panicky, but when in doubt, check it out before you pop another one of those things in your puss. 1041 at 560 WQAM. We'll add some names to today's poll. We got this other series of polls. I'm going to read Mike's facts from Coconut Creek when we come back and then explain to you this other thing we're going to be doing, just mainly to piss off Mo.
Absolutely.
Because he gets psychotic over the fact we have this gigantic listening audience talking about dead people. Well, you'll never guess, Mo, who they'd like to have on the list next. I'll give you 4,000 guesses, and the first 3,999 don't count. 18 till 11 at 560 WQM. We got the Mad Dog, the wildly popular Jim Mandich. All right. 2 to 4 this afternoon, the Mad Dog. Hank Goldberg, 4 to 6:30, the Humper with the Rob Conrad hour, 5 to 6. You got 6:30 Marlins on Drek. Big game, probably the biggest game of the season, I would say. Wouldn't you, Scott?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The whole series, as a matter of fact.
What about this one? You take them one at a time. The Marlins have a 1.5 lead in the wild card on the Phillies, but they're in Philadelphia tonight, 7:05. If they win that, they're in good shape. Eddie K at 10 after the baseball game. Joe and Mark overnight, 2 to 5 in the a.m. Thursday at 11:30 in the morning, the trends come out. It's going to be a pressure pack. You're going to be able to smell the aroma of gigantic stools from coast to coast when those numbers come out. You know what? Don't you think?
I think.
And then, of course, the month following that, like late in October when the whole summer book comes out, holy crap, man. Woo! Wow. When the hour by hour, there's going to be a shower of power. And it's going to be right in there. Somebody's going to flip his piece. By now you've been hearing me talk for a long time, for a coon's age, about Laminates R Us and how laminate wood flooring from Laminates R Us is the easy, the smart, the low-maintenance alternative to very, very expensive natural wood flooring. Laminates R Us is the best place for you to find laminated wood flooring from Peridor, Pergo, Wilson Art, Unifloor, and Quickstep. They got all the top names in the universe all installed by Pergo certified installers, too. Here's another reason why I'd be calling Laminates R Us. Their prices are so low, they'll absolutely floor you. It'll put your ass right on the floor. Right now you can get their September kickoff special for just $1,995. That's absolutely correct, sir and ma'am. Just $1,995 gets you up to 380 square feet of beautiful laminate wood flooring. Unbelievable. And Laminates R Us will match any legitimate written offer, too. For a free in-home estimate, call Laminates R Us toll-free at 1-877-777-3330. I'm trying to get their attention, see?
Oh, yeah.
Call them toll-free at 1-877-777-3336. What could be easier? They give you free carpet disposal, free furniture moving, a 25-year warranty, and years and years of beautiful, easy care laminate wood flooring. Call Lemon to us today and tell them that a horny old Neil told you to call 1-877-777-3336.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil God.
Ozzy Osbourne, Fox NFL audition, take one.
Hello, sports fans. I'm Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of f***ing football. This year looks like it's going to be exciting in the NFL. One team to definitely watch out for are the Green Bay Packers.
Cut, Ozzy, that's Packers.
What?
Packers, Green Bay Packers.
Not Packers? Okay. Can we start again? Can we start it over?
Cue the music.
In the AFC Central, you have to watch out for the upstart Cleveland Browns. Browns? What the f*** is a Brown?
Cut.
How about those New England guys? The f***ing Patriots or something like that. That reminds me of when I was growing up in England, right near Birmingham. We were a poor family.
Ozzy, stick to the script if you can, please.
Fuck you, I'm the Prince of f***ing football.
Cut.
Shen!
Tape is rolling.
In the NFC, you have to like the Falcons, the Bears, the Panthers, and Lions. Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm in line at the fucking zoo with all these fucking Falcons and Panthers and shit. Is this football or Mutual of Omaha's wild fucking kingdom?
Cut it!
That's all that's on the cue card, man. What do you want me to do about it?
Just wrap it up, Ozzy.
That's all for this week. I'm Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of fucking football. Shut
10:48 at 560 WQM. Those are some really nifty bleeps on that one.
That last one there was...
I listened to it about several times.
Yeah. About 30, man.
Trust me, it's in there.
It was perfect, yeah.
Anyway, so... we had this fax from Mike in Coconut Creek. Mike, you made my whole week. Thanks, amigo. You're the best. It says, with the passing of Don Cox, which the Sentinel had nothing about, of course, and you're right, it brings to the forefront the poll you did on dead South Florida personalities, the one that pissed Mo off so bad.
Absolutely.
That poll was like an omen. Why not do a completely comprehensive dead people poll and post the names on your website? Thanks, Mike of Coconut Creek. Well, Mike of Coconut Creek, you inspired me not for one poll, because anybody could do that. But we can kill like days and days with this stuff, like we do those great music polls. Remember those days, of course, those heady days?
One hit wonder.
So what we're going to do is, let's see, I got 4 different categories of dead people, and then we'll figure out your best. Then we'll have like a dead runoff, a dead people's runoff next Monday. Okay?
Okay.
I think this is great. What's wrong with liking dead people, even though, especially because it pisses off Mo so much, we might get record-breaking totals on there just to show him that we hate his old crusty ass.
We're not
and the rest of them, too.
We're celebrating these people.
We're celebrating these people's existence, okay? You live, you do your thing, and then you die. And when people remember you enough to send their very best and say, hey, that was a pretty good guy, or whoever. You notice we aren't getting any women on here, though. It just dawned on me when I said good guy, because we're not saying man. But anyway, we're dividing into 4 categories: politics, actors, musicians, and famous others.
Right.
Actors including like music, TV, anything. And famous others could be like inventors.
Right.
Tom Edison.
Heroes.
George Eastman.
Random heroes.
Ben Franklin.
Right.
Elias Howe.
Eli Whitney.
Eli Whitney.
Wasn't Ben Franklin a politician, though?
What did Eli... He could be neither one. What was Elias Howe? What did he invent? The sewing machine?
I don't know. I thought that was Singer.
He was a singer? Well, I guess he'll have to be under musicians then. No, seriously, what did Elias Howe invent? Eli Whitney invented the cotton mill, the gin mill.
Cotton gin.
And what about Eli Howe? Well, we'll figure it out. We'll get to that. See, that's not for today anyway. That one's for Friday. So the one we're going to do later today, who is your favorite dead political figure? Now, of course, you realize that there are like zillions of names that can go on here, which is the idea. It's great. It makes it easy for you folks out there, because we realize that, especially in the dog days of summer, it's like the end of summertime, that people have got no material. There's nothing going on.
Right.
And as a result, this makes it so easy for our callers.
Now, people are sending in faxes for that gay poll that we don't have worded yet. You want me to hang on to them, or?
No. That's for another. That's for another day.
All right,
God, we've got polls up the ass here today, man.
Rectum.
Wow.
I'll make a pile of these.
Okay, before we get to this, there are a couple of things. Now, what was the first one that just escaped me? It was so goddamn important. Oh, man, you did it to me. I had something like earth-shaking that I was going to do, but my Alzheimer's interfered and I forgot. U.S. nowhere near capturing bin Laden. I think this is worth passing along. 2 years after the 9/11 attacks on New York and Washington, the U.S. is not even close to apprehending chief suspect Osama bin Laden, Newsweek magazine reports. In this week's issue of the magazine, citing U.S. Defense Department officials, said the U.S. had few clues to bin Laden's whereabouts, and Army officers believed they'd have to be very lucky to capture him. That doesn't sound too uplifting, does it?
No.
Unable to infiltrate al-Qaeda, U.S. officials said bin Laden had stopped using satellite telephones and landmines, making him even more difficult to capture. Months after El Presidente said he wanted bin Laden dead or alive. The officials also noted that with the U.S. occupied in Iraq and Pakistan's President Pervez Musharraf worried about militant Islamists, there are no large-scale military units trying to track bin Laden down. And yada, yada, yada. Newsweek said military officials were also worried about whether they had enough troops for current tasks, giving declining reenlistments by frustrated reservists and National Guardsmen. The article said officials were worried resources had been taken away from Afghanistan to support Iraq operations, and this had lost the vital U.S. intelligence in Afghanistan. From the beginning, we effed up, said one-fifth group officer who fought in Afghanistan. From the beginning, we effed up, he said. How do you like that?
Yeah.
There you go. But we had to have this Operation Iraqi Freedom bullcrap, okay, so that we could, thin things out, water things down. In the meantime, weakened us dramatically in the supposed war on terror that's supposed to be saving all of our asses.
You keep forgetting.
What's that?
It's worth it.
Oh. So, yeah, I guess to the people, to Halliburton and Bechtel.
Yeah, well.
And to a bunch of dicks in control of the country. Oh, guess who else died? Now, you're not going to know who this is. Volker Bryan will know, and he's going to be very upset if he doesn't know this already.
Who?
You're not going to know either. Mike Stokey.
He died?
Do you have any idea who that is?
Absolutely not.
No, of course not. 1940s TV host. I'm telling you, people are dying, man. It's bad. People are dying like flies. They're dropping all over the place. Mike Stokey, who's pioneering 1940s TV show Pantomime Quiz, brought Hollywood stars to the small screen, earned one of the 6 original Emmy statuettes, has died. He was 84. God, I would have thought he'd been a lot older than that, like about 120. Mr. Stokey died Sunday in Vegas following a long illness, said his daughter Susie Stokey. I wonder if they're kin to the Stookie people at the rest stops.
Love their taffy.
Oh, I love their peanut brittle. Oh, don't you like the candy at peanut? It'll just rot your teeth out, man.
Pecan logs.
Oh, yeah, I like it in my teeth on one of them logs. Pantomime Quiz literally introduced Hollywood to the TV industry, Mr. Stokey told the Times in 1998, half a century after he first was host of the show. I had star after star make their TV debut, Marilyn Monroe, Jack Webb. People were totally fascinated. They'd never seen these big, tall figures except in the theater. Here they were actually laughing and joking, like real human beings. The program, renamed Stump the Stars in the 1960s, began in Hollywood on KTLA in 1948. A year later went national on CBS. It remained in production on various networks, NBC, Dumont ABC, and in syndicated form until 1970. When the Emmy Awards were launched, nominees were limited to programs produced in Los Angeles County and carried on one of the area's 4 stations. Only 6 trophies were handed out. Mr. Stokey was nominated for Outstanding Personality but lost to a KTLA colleague, ventriloquist Shirley Dinsdale. He did receive an Emmy for producing the most popular program, Pantomime Quiz, which won out over 9 other nominees. The show's format was simple. 2 teams with 4 celebrities each played charades suggested by home viewers. One celebrity acted out the charade. 3 teammates had to describe within 2 minutes the team identifying the charade in the shortest time won. Hans Conried was on that show. You remember him?
Who?
You don't remember Hans Conried?
No.
How about Hermione Gingold?
Just from you.
And then there was the little French guy. Now, that one's going to stump me. Volker Bryan's going to have to fax or call him. What the hell was his name?
Pepe Le Pew.
Toulouse-Lautrec. Toulouse-Lautrec. No. The little French guy, he was also on the Days of Our Lives briefly. He was actually on a soap opera. He's got to be dead by now.
Robert Clary?
That's him! How do you know that?
Thank you very much.
Because of Days of Our Lives. Oh, Scott watches soap operas. Oh.
No, I watched Hogan's Heroes.
He was also on that too. But how did you know who I was talking about?
He just named the only French guy he could.
Pretty much.
I think he's been watching them soap operas.
Well, they don't pay me to do anything else.
But that's a good omen because now Duff and Clarence will really go to bat for you.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Gordon gives South Florida a major blowjob.
Coming up tonight on Inside the Behind the True Hollywood Celebrity Music Biography Profile Story. He began his career in the first transvestite rock group. Then he dressed normally and became Buster Poindexter.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Well, I got the idea for Buster Poindexter when I put together this new combo.
Buster Poindexter was actually David Johansen, former frontman for the 1970s cross-dressing punk band, the New York Dolls.
So, I'd be Buster, with the big hairdo and everything, and...
Yeah, that's great, David, but if I might get back to the cross-dressing thing...
Look, that was a long time ago, all right?
I mean, with, silk drawers on, your thing feels kind of different.
Come on, dude.
I mean, it's kind of hanging there free, right? And rubbing up against the fabric so you're always sporting wood, right?
I guess so. I really don't remember.
Like hell you don't remember. Like anyone could ever forget the first time they put on a beautiful lace teddy. It's like knowing where you were in 9/11 or when Kennedy was shot.
Will you lay off the women's clothing stuff?
I mean, take the bra that snaps out in the front. When I put that on and then I get my wife to tear it off me, holy what a turn on. It was like I understood what it was like for a woman in that moment as the snap is pulled violently apart and my breasts are, well, no other way to put it, liberated. The only thing that even comes close is pantyhose. Oh, the way that stretch fabric just grips your nutsack. My God!
All right, this interview is over.
Hey, where are you going? I mean, look, it doesn't mean we're gay or anything. Oh well. It's a big, juicy, sopping wet look at show business. Tonight and inside the behind. Oh, just a second. Slipped out of the stall.
11:01 at 560 WQM. The thing I kept forgetting in that first hour to mention is that, generally when hurricanes are coming across the Atlantic and you're in Florida, that's when you get real nervous about it.
Right.
Well, Hurricane Isabel ain't going to be anywhere near Florida. And guess where they're now predicting all the models are showing the ass end of it is going to come through upstate New York and right here in Toronto, baby. Right in Ontario. I mean, nothing real heavy duty except a lot of rain and wind and things like that. And I figure, why the hell not? We had SARS, we had the bad meat, we had the blackout. Why the hell not have a little hurricane? Oh, speaking of hurricanes, this fax, I think they may have their finger on it. You want to know why? It says, tall blonde person at the U of M going around squirting guys. You left out Joe Zagacki. Isn't he blonde? Not only is he blonde, but we do know that.
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Okay.
See?
Yeah, he's not so tall, though.
Oh, that's right. He's not 6 feet tall. He's about 3 feet. He's like a munchkin. If you took George and Maddie Bell and Joe Zagacki and put them on each other's shoulders, they still wouldn't make 5 feet.
We'd have 6.
Oh, look at this. Here's somebody from Weston who says, oh, yeah, what the hell happened to the Herald? Yeah, they're trying to revamp the Herald so nobody knows what it is anymore. They're trying to do a disguise. After 100 years of mediocrity, they're trying to change the way it looks. It's still a piece of crap. Although at least they had the story on Don Cox dying, which is more than I can say for the scum sentinel. God, Jick, there's no embarrassment factor there, is there? No, and he's talking about how I'm going to keep my touch on the local pulse of what's going on in South Florida, from Toronto and Amsterdam and around the goddamn rest of the world. Who are you kidding, Tom? Man. Christ almighty motors. Anyway, this guy from Weston says the poll question could read, who is your favorite straight guy with a queer eye? I like that. Mm-hmm. Don't you? Because, I mean, that's it's hip and cool, man, like Mo. It's hip and cool. Huh? So I'm going to stick that underneath. We're piling up the polls. Thank you very much. See, the audience is coming through for me. I guess they figure I'm getting old and feeble, which they're right. But I like that. Poll ideas. We like them. I mean, look, it's not easy, as you well know, every goddamn day to come up with something different and exciting, since this has become like the centerpiece of the show as opposed to like sitting here begging for phone calls for somebody in South Florida to have something meaningful to say, which they're never going to do. No. Maybe once in a lifetime.
I'm finding that out quick.
Right. We better add to this list here. Who's the biggest nerd of them all? We got a bunch of votes, over 100. We got 130. But let's add some names on there. It might be a little more enticing to the audience. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Why are you so miserable?
Okay. Have a nice day, asshole. Here's Orlando. Hello.
Woody Allen is a nerd.
Woody Allen's an excellent nerd.
Nervous.
That was beautiful. Woody Allen. See, that's the kind. That was actually on line 9, a real call, as opposed to the mouth breather that we started out with. And his other 85 lines. You're an idiot, man. You're an imbecile. But have a nice day. We like you. Actually, I do like him. You know what? You want to know why?
Why?
He's obsessed with this program. Obsessed.
Oh, yeah.
He is. This show is his life. When I hang up the microphone, man, that guy's going to go to the top of the World Trade Center where it used to be and jump off. It's not there anymore, though, pal. No, seriously, this guy's a lunatic. Certifiable.
He ain't the only one.
Well, but he's right at the moment, he's the number one. There's not even anybody close.
No, there is, but I don't want to say his name.
Oh.
No.
Not even him?
No.
Somebody I don't know about?
You're gay.
Oh, Reverend Jones. You don't want to say his name?
No.
No, Reverend Jones isn't the one. Who are you talking about?
Yeah, Reverend Jones calls several times a day.
No, not like this guy, though.
All right.
Because at least Reverend Jones doesn't get on the air several times a day. This guy does because Scott isn't getting paid. He's not going to work so hard to try to screen a call. If you pay... Oh, and let me just also say this about Scott.
Uh-oh.
No, seriously. I mean, the fact that he's not getting paid, are they fooling anybody in there? And in accounting, in programming, they're not fooling anybody. It's on the air. Everybody knows about it. Scott Farrell's audience knows it. My audience knows it. It sounds to me like illegal child labor or something like that.
Sweatshop.
How old's Scott? About 14? Yeah, lie a little bit.
Does anybody care, though?
What do you... Oh, don't... Now, see, now you're starting to, lose it. Don't start sounding defensive like you want us to feel sorry for you, okay? That's bad, because we don't feel sorry for anybody. We had that with the previous one, okay?
Yeah, our
with Mr. My Life is una problema grande.
Oh, no, I got my soap operas here. I'm fine.
No, that's right. No, that was very good, though. Robert Clary, that was excellent. Here's a great fax from John, with a phony name here that's very funny. I think it's phony. It says, yesterday, I wish I would have heard this. Don't you?
Uh-huh.
Yesterday, Jim Mandich came out of a break during his show complaining that there's no way a show can survive when you have to wait through a 9-minute break like he does. After cursing and raving for about 3 minutes, he concluded that this was indeed the reason that the first team eventually failed, and the new morning show was total Schmidt. Oh, I wish I would have heard that.
Absolutely.
All right, Mad Dog. In conclusion, it is this writer's opinion that the scumbags who run WQA make Bob Hamilton for Magic 102.7 an afterbirth ass-kisser who's a cabana boy for Jefferson Pilot Radio humpheads an effing genius. Your thought? I would say you are...
Absolutely correct, sir.
Excellent facts, John. Thank you. Keep the faxes coming. That's right on top of it. I wish I would have heard that. Mad Dog going crazy.
Maybe there's a tape.
Oh. About his long commercial breaks and how the first team got sandbagged with that. And about how the morning show... See, I wonder how Mo can handle that, knowing that the guy he's sitting next to... Of course, it's true with anybody. He has to handle the fact that no matter who he's sitting next to, that person hates him like poison.
Yeah,
so he must be used to it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I never thought about that before, but when it happens all the time. And look at that, they're just sitting around eating breakfast so far. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What about Bill Gates?
What about Bill Gates? He's leading the votes with 64. Thank you. Well, he may have tuned in late. Bill Gates is on the list. We've got a short list. We're expanding it. The biggest nerd of all. Gates 64, Carrot Top 39, Paul Schaefer 17, Rick Riley 16, Adam Sandler 11 out of 147 votes. We'd have a lot more if we get to these calls and put some other names on here, damn it. But we're busy with more important things like...
I can see myself listening.
Oh, once they start talking, I get real nervous on that button, because God only knows what kind of is going to blurt out of their mouth. I know what's going to go into their mouth. I'm not sure what's going to blurt out.
Really?
Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
I think Haitian farts smell the worst.
Okay, good. Good for you. And by the way, I think Chinese are right in there, too.
Really?
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm sniffing.
I'd have thought they'd have antiseptic kind of farts.
No, it's the dim sum. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami, buenos dias.
Hey, Neil?
Yes, sir.
I just heard you mention that Don Cox died. I missed that. What happened? What was the deal on that?
He died in his sleep. He was 55. He was up in Georgia caring for his ill mother, and he just didn't wake up yesterday morning.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Me too.
Anyway, take care. Have a good day. I just wanted
And you too. Have a good day. Well, won't have such a good day now because he just found out about it. I don't hear any calls about Cox on the radio, by the way. It's typical South Florida, you heartless bastards. No, seriously. I mean, this isn't somebody who was on 100 years ago. This is a guy who was on just about every station in town. He was on very popular radio stations. He was on Power 96 fairly recently. He was on KISS very recently. And he left his mark on the market. You know, he was a goofball in many ways. He was on that Kendall Toyota infomercial, that awful show. I mean, nothing. Not even a G. I mean, at least this guy that we just talked to, at least he sounded a little bit remorseful, you know?
Right.
But you work your ass. I can just see, man, when I croak in a week or two, I can just see it.
Neil who?
Yeah, right. Front page, right. Maybe front page of the funny page or something like that. There was nothing. That's the South Florida effing way. They just don't appreciate anything. They give nothing in return. They just take and take and take and take.
What do you got?
I beg your pardon?
So we can take.
Oh, I see. What have I got for you? I got this. Free. You want another one?
Chinese.
No extra charge.
If it's free, it's for me.
Right. Oh, you know the Rim Man, too, huh? Here's Deerfield. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
What we
we have here is a failure.
Failure to get this asshole off the phone, right? He must be the boyfriend of the whispering guy. It's not the same guy. Here's Delray Beach. Hello.
Neil, guys?
Yes, sir. Speaking.
Neil, can I ask for Mike Lupica on your poll?
A nerd?
Yes, big time.
A nerd or dead politician? Yeah, let's see. The nerd sports writer. Okay, he definitely is a nerd. You're right.
Thank you.
And have a great day. Thank you. That's a good suggestion. You don't know who that is.
I do.
Scott knows.
Yeah, he's from New York. He's a columnist, and he is a nerd.
New York sports columnist who's on at the ESPN show on Sunday mornings, and he sits around that round table. In fact, they got Dick Schaap's body still propped up on there, which I think is very disrespectful. You remember the time Dick Schaap called our show on IOD, George?
Yes.
When that was back when they were cranking. There was somebody in the building, somebody in the sports department was cranking us, and they had the list of all the sports numbers from all the different broadcasters and so on. And they would leave messages for like Dick Schaap and these other people. Oh, call the Neil Rogers show at such and such a time, and Neil wants to talk to you. And they would call like out of the blue, and I'd say, what the hell are you calling for? You know,
Right.
Right?
I remember that.
And then of course Dick Schaap was on the show, and then he died. So probably not a lot of other people are going to do that. Let's see. Apple pie eating nerd poster child Sean Hannity. That's an excellent choice that somebody just faxed in. Outstanding. Let me write that on the right-hand side of my column here. Sean Hannity. Apple pie eating nerd poster child. Excellent. Thank you very much. What have we got so far? Bill Gates in a safe lead. That was your choice. Adam Sandler, which is my choice. Can't win them all. I had Jack Nicholson yesterday. You can't win them all. Because it looks to me like Sandler's on the bottom, ain't he? No, Woody Allen. Well, Woody just went up there. Woody Allen just went up. We don't have Mike Lupica or Sean Hannity on there as yet.
I hope I spelled that right.
Not as yet. As Mo would say, not as yet. The U of M hasn't pulled their games from the station as yet because we had that racist, obnoxious, loudmouth Jew bastard fag on in middays. Remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, do you remember that crap when he was trying to, like, plant the seeds of my demise? Didn't work out too well, Mo. And guess what? I don't have to blackmail a radio station into extending my contract. 12 minutes after 11 at 560 WQM. If you're underpaid, overworked like poor Scott there, who's just being treated like some kind of a lemming, like some kind of an appendage. How'd you like to have a new high-paying career before the end of the year? Pick up the phone and call our good paisans at Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. They can have you trained and certified before year's end. The demand for computer professionals continues to grow like wild. There's no better time than right now to get you a new high-paying computer career. Fast Train offers job placement assistance, convenient day evening and weekend schedules, and don't forget, like I keep telling you, there are 6 Florida locations, 4 in South Florida, so there's bound to be a Fast Train near where you live. Fast Train offers financial assistance for guys who qualify, too. So call Fast Train today, toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. Say goodbye to that dead-end job and that crap-hole boss. Say goodbye to that measly paycheck and get yourself a real big fat one and a paycheck, too. Check them out on the web at fasttrain.com and then call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Our phone conversation, I talked to Peter North the other day. He tells me your real name is Neil Down, and he still ain't interested.
Squirt, squirt.
Rob says, united we stand. Looks like he's from Munchkin Land. How did he get ears like that? How did Dumbo get in the race? All he needs is a trunk on his face. How did he get ears like that?
Uh-huh. Thank you so much. How could we forget the obvious Ross Perot, out of sight, out of mind, I guess, huh? Ross Perot, the ultimate nerd. You're right. Get him on there right away, please. Only Larry King, only the Schlockmeister could have foisted some crap like that over on the public.
All we got to do is roll up our sleeves and dust off them old studies and do. Just roll up our sleeves and do. A lot of do.
That was Ross Perot, an imbecile, a simpleton, a rich one, though. And a bigoted one at that.
Sure.
Well, that's what we like. We like bigots. Like Jimmy Breslin said in that brilliant article I read from yesterday. I might even read that last paragraph again. It was so damn good about fascism.
Would you frame it?
Huh?
Would you please?
Would I please? Well, where
Read
the hell is
again.
that?
It doesn't get old.
Don't start getting pushy now just because we're going to get you on a payroll. I think you're okay. I think we'll get you squared away.
I don't.
If you shut up. You don't? You really don't think so?
I know. You've been doing it for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, but not heavy duty. I haven't threatened to, drag some people there out of the closet, for example. Fascism in the name of security. Here's the last. I don't want to read the whole thing, but the last paragraph Jimmy Breslin wrote in Newsday on Sunday. That this American government of bigots from the low IQ states can run over our Bill of Rights, grabbing somebody with no warning in the dark hours, is a terrorist act by psalm singers. The only way to defend yourself is to vote them out. Those who don't are fans of fascism. And Jimmy, you are...
Absolutely correct, sir.
Oh! Yeah, let's hear it for Jimmy Breslin, who doesn't pull any punches. That's our kind of guy. Here's a fax from PD and NM in North Miami, or maybe it's New Mexico. I think North Miami. Probably rather be in Albuquerque. He says they'll find bin Laden a couple of weeks before the 2004 presidential election. Wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would surprise me what these grave robbers would do to seal an election. Of course, their road map in California got kind of sidetracked yesterday by the appeals court.
It's just a detour.
I beg your pardon?
Just a detour.
It's just a detour, and of course it must be political. Oh, wait, and I got that right here. I just fell into it by accident. Schwarzenegger discusses sex and politics on Oprah yesterday. I actually was channel surfing and saw about 2 seconds of that. But as soon as I see Oprah, my channel just automatically moves to the next one. I will not watch Oprah, that ridiculous, wealthy bitch, that fat, disgusting bitch. But evidently he said there was a line. He was talking about the We magazine interview, which said he took part in a gymnasium orgy and received oral sex during bodybuilding competition in 1977. There was a line that was just, do you remember the parties Arnold Winfrey asked? I really don't, he replied. These were the times when I was saying things like, a pump is better than coming, he said, prompting his wife, dressed in a long black dress with a silver cross around her neck, to put her hand across his face. To the comment that her mother was watching, Schwarzenegger laughed and said, wherever Eunice is, don't pay attention. Her mother is Eunice Kennedy. Shram out of here. Pumping, a pump is better than coming.
Squirt, squirt,
he said. I mean, is this a moron or what? Now, let me just tell you this.
Okay.
Was it the Sun Sentinel I told you that poll was in today?
I forgot.
Let me take a look at it. It's enough to floor everybody. I mean, it's one thing to joke about it and laugh about it. It was a poll on if you lived in California, would you vote for Arnold Schwarzenegger for governor? Let me just check and see if it's there. Oh, it's gone. Maybe it was in the Herald, do you think? Yeah, oh, that's right, it was in the Herald. Oh, thank goodness it ain't gone. But he was winning out of the first 999 vote, one of which was mine. He was winning like 52 to 47%. Are you ready for that?
Hello.
Yeah, goodbye in California. I'm clicking. This Herald has got to be the worst website. Oh, here it comes, finally. Let's see, is the poll still there in the Herald? Oh, now I got to figure out which page it's on. You know what I mean? On a website?
Right.
It's not on this page. You people at the Herald make me sick. You make me want to puke. What kind of a freaking newspaper is this? Maybe it's on the news page thing. You think it's on the news page thing? Although at least they did have the Don Cox obituary. It's more I can say for the Scum Sentinel, Jicka, you idiot. Yeah, see, at the Sun Sentinel, I figure, we'll get around to it one of these days. We have no credibility anyway. It's not on this page. Where's my Arnold poll, damn it? Do you see it?
I don't see it.
I don't see it. It was on there. Remember, I read it to you.
Yeah.
I was reading it right for you to you.
Maybe they took it off out of embarrassment.
I would think so. Well, that was bad. Somebody will find it and send us a copy. They'll fax it to us, wherever the hell they're hiding it. I'd hide it, too. About Arnold. Pumping is better than coming.
Squirt, squirt.
Or something like that. See, first you pump Arnold and then...
Squirt, squirt.
Right, that's the way it works.
Oh.
Yeah, well, in his case, I mean, with that low IQ, he doesn't know where to stick it. Here's Miami. Hello.
Retire.
Okay. Tomorrow. Got a show to finish, though, first. Here's Coral Springs. Hello. Coral Springs.
Yeah, Neil, how about Brian Norcross?
All right, excellent choice.
You know, I'd like to send him to North Carolina and see if he can get a blowjob.
Oh, he doesn't have to go to North Carolina and do that, from what I hear. That's what Duff told me. Brian Norcross, that's what the Channel 7 Miss Kamal told me. I hear she likes to dress up. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. And what does Don know? Anyway, huh? There's our man, is Don know at Channel 10. If Isabel makes a sudden left turn and comes back, which it won't, but Brian Norcross will try to convince you that it might. If it did that, we'd be talking to Don.
No.
We don't talk to hysteria mongers like little Miss Norcross. Let's see, James Watt. Nobody's going to remember who that is. That's a good choice, but it's, the ex-Secretary of the Interior.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the steamboat guy.
James Watt. No, he did. See, you're on the wrong poll. This is good. Now even we're confused. We don't know which poll we're building. James Watt, the Beach Boys were going to do the thing in Washington, D.C. on the 4th of July, and he said, no way, Jose. They're too revolutionary. They're too radical.
Satan.
Tim Burton.
The director of freaky movies like,
is he a nerd,
Edward Scissorhands, the biggest geek on earth.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Tim Burton, get him on there right away. No kin to Dick. Weird Al Yankovic. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Weird Al. Weird Al. They know who that is. Dennis Kucinich. This is good. It says, I like him, but come on. And that's very well put, whoever sent this fax. Dennis Kucinich. He says all the right things. He'd be a great candidate, but you look at him with that bad hairpiece and that look, that kind of goofy little, munchkin look. See, nobody takes a munchkin seriously. That's what Matty Bell was bitterly complaining to me about when I was down there. He said, nobody takes me seriously.
That's true.
I said, maybe if you were higher than, my kneecap, if you and didn't talk like that, we might. Oh, here's a whole list of them now. This is good. We'll do this till about 1, and then we'll start building another one, the first of our 8,000-part series of dead people just to piss off Mo.
Absolutely.
He's talking about dead people, and he's got those big ratings. Who is he fooling? What kind of a show is that? My show is better than that. Not what the Mad Dog says. Mad Dog says your show blows, All right. That's what I'm hearing. That's the report. The one time I heard Mad Dog make a comment about the morning show, but shortly after it first started when Mo was on with Geldy, and his exact words, because I heard him with my own 5 ears, he said, it's a bad show.
Right.
Seriously, that's a bad show. It's a New York show. It's a bad show. Nobody here cares about the Jets and the Giants and the Knicks. It's a bad show. Right? All right. Tobey Maguire, David Spade, Richard Dreyfuss, Jay Fiedler. Oh, I like Jay Fiedler for this poll, although, see, they won't get as much since they won the other day. See, you know how the crowd is down there. They, wishy-washy.
That'll stop this week.
Yeah, oh yeah, when the Bills kick their ass, oh, that's going to be ugly. George W. Bush and Jay sent this list. What about, I think G.W. Bush belongs on there, you know what? He's a nerd. He's got that Alfred E. Newman, what me worry, you ought to be worrying because I'm the president and I stole the election look on his face. Yeah, George W. Bush, Jay Fiedler, Richard Dreyfuss. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can't stand him personally, but not just because he's a nerd, because he just, that Close Encounters of My Worst Kind, that was just, sent me over the edge. Made me drop my jaws. David Spade.
Oh, yeah. I want to change my vote now.
David Spade. I wonder, do you think, is David Spade?
Neutered.
He's a cool cat. And Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Boy, this list is building like crazy, like Topsy now. Oh, and look at this. We're not going to put it on there, but it's kind of cute.
Eisner?
Yeah, he's pretty nerdy. This is from UCF, Kenny. Do sports nerds count? How about Hank? Oh, don't be calling a humper a nerd. No, Hank's been called many names like I have, but never a nerd. Maybe turd.
You turd.
Not a nerd. Don't forget, the humper will be on this afternoon, 4 to 6:30, with a Rob Conrad hour between 5 and 6, and then that big Marlin extravaganza in Philadelphia. Everybody ought to be on their edge of their seats for this one, even if you don't care. Let's see, the Marlins are what, 83 and 69?
No.
83.
And 67.
No. They have 13 games left. That means they've played 149. 66. 83 and 66. They're 17 games over. Is that right?
That's correct.
I'm telling you, mister, they got 13 games left. I know my Marlin crap, even though I don't really care about it. I'm not going to be one of those phony bandjagging wumpers and pretend to jump on right now. I'm not. I don't really care, but I think it's pretty exciting. The town deserves something positive for a change, right?
Yeah.
Sure. So hop on whatever Chris Moore used to say. Hop on this and hop aboard, whatever he used to say. That idiot, Chris Moore.
Hot dog, hop aboard.
You know, I don't think Neil Rogers is ever going to be on this radio station. Remember that day?
I can
Christina Moore.
agree with him.
28 past 11 at 560 WQM. It's that time of the year again when the mattress showrooms and furniture stores run their phony ad sales. Dollar Mattress asks if you double the price to offer half off, is that really a deal? Of course not. Fact is, these stores have to run a sale to drop their prices as low as Dollar Mattress sells them each and every day, 365 days a year. For deep discount prices on dozens of models from Serta, Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, Simmons King Coil, or Stearns & Foster, you need to call 1-800-MATTRESS. No nonsense, no bait and switch, no house brands, no phony promises, and best of all, you don't have to pay a premium for the best service available anywhere. You'll get service like you dream about from delivery team ranked number 1 in customer satisfaction in the world. When you call Dollar Mattress toll free at 1-800-MATTRESS, you pick the day and time for your delivery with any 2-hour window 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. when it's convenient for you, and they'll be there, and you'll be sleeping well the first night. I've been sleeping on a mattress from Dollar Mattress for years, and so should you. Look at the shape I'm in. With low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal, it's easy to see why Dollar Mattress, like I said, is ranked the best in the universe. So don't be fooled by those mattress showroom or furniture store ads. They can't even come close to matching what you get every day from Dollar Mattress. Pick up the phone and call right now, 1-800-MATTRESS. 1-800-MATTRES, or online it's mattress.com. For Dollar Mattress, the easy, the intelligent way to get you a great mattress and a great night's sleep.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
I urge everyone to complain to this station.
The candidates all admit it. If there's a problem, Bush did it. From unemployment to inflation to our wartime situation. They say that our nation with its complications all comes down to just one thing. Some don't like the way Bush runs the country. That's exactly why they all are running. Yeah, they're pointing the finger at issues that linger. They think when he exits, they'll answer, they fix it. Some don't like the way Bush runs the country.
Okay, Wesley Clark's in, by the way. Good. That just came over from CNN. Wesley Clark's in the race.
Very good.
And then you just faxed me the Don Cox information here. Let's see. This is from Greg Reed. I beg your pardon?
They're voting right now on that FCC resolution as we speak.
The Senate?
Right, yeah.
Senate's voting on the FCC resolution where Michael Powell and the other grave robbers there on the FCC want to loosen up the regulations so that 2 or 3 companies can own almost every goddamn TV and radio station and newspaper in America.
It's on C-SPAN 2 for those who care.
Oh, I got that on here somewhere, but I'll never find it. Wait a minute, let me diddle around here and see if I can find C-SPAN 1 or 2.
Before he speaks. Mr. President, we are currently on the energy and water bill.
It's funny, I think I'm getting a better picture than you are.
Maybe. Oh, look at that.
Well, I'm on Playboy TV. Well, my set automatically have programmed it now to go to Playboy TV. Anyway, here it is. Wesley Clark, a retired general with a 4-star military resume but no political experience, decided today to become the 10th Democratic presidential candidate. Officials close to him said, and you know how good he was on Meet the Press with Tim Russert?
I heard he was excellent on Meet the Press.
That's what we heard from one of our callers, one of our chronics.
If you saw him on Meet the Press.
He's made his decision and will announce it tomorrow in Little Rock, said Mark Fabiani, a spokesman for Clark. Fabiani didn't reveal Clark's decision, but officials close to the former general said he told his fledgling campaign that he's in the race. See, America loves a war hero. Like Eisenhower, for example.
Right.
The difference being that Wesley Clark is like articulate and could put 2 words together, whereas Eisenhower was virtually illiterate. But he had a lot of interest. He had a lot of interest in what was going on. Clark's decision came as Democratic strategists from around the country gathered at this small, low-slung brick headquarters in Little Rock, Arkansas, at the banks of the Arkansas River to discuss strategy for mounting a late-starting presidential campaign. Fabiani, who served as a spokesman for former Vice President Al Gore's 2000 campaign, is part of a cadre of former Gore and Bill Clinton advisors who are now rallying behind Clark. How do you like that? Clinton had urged Clark to enter the race, but neither he nor Gore is expected to take sides in the primary fight. But nevertheless, you can see the fine finger of Slick Willie in there, and maybe Al Gore, too, pushing the general.
That's a busy finger he's got.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen that crooked finger? It's shaped just like his penis, is what Monica said.
Fragrant.
Did he say he wanted to smell your fingers? Is that what he said? Now, how do I guess I better separate the segue on this, this information. 235 votes. Who's the biggest? See, I think you were right. George hit it on the head. Before the show, this nerd poll is too important to, shortchange it.
Right.
It needs to be on overnight. So, which is great, because that postpones the other one until tomorrow.
What are you rushing for?
Russian? Panamachi Paruski? 235 votes. Who's the biggest nerd of them all? Bill Gates, Я хочу пива.
Давай.
До свидания.
Up yours. Bill Gates 88, Carrot Top 53, Rick Riley 24. I haven't even played no Rick Riley material yet, but I will. Paul Schaefer 24, Woody Allen 16, Adam Sandler 15, Sean Hannity 6, Mike Lupica 4, Brian Norcross 1, and Ross Perot 1. We haven't put on yet George W. Bush, Jay Fiedler, Richard Dreyfuss, David Spade, or Tobey Maguire, or Dennis Kucinich, or Weird Al, or Tim Burton, or Brian Norcross already got 4. Wow. Okay, here's the message from Greg Reed. Don Cox, a South Florida legend in radio, passed away on September 15th. Viewing services will be held in Georgia 5 to 9 p.m. tonight, and Wednesday, September 17th, 2 to 9 p.m. at Ingram Funeral Home, 210 Ingram Avenue in Cummings, Georgia. I guess this is this is for our staff. I don't think this is the general public are they?
I don't know, but
not on the Georgia stuff, but anyway, on Sunday, September 21st, this Sunday, there'll be a memorial service in Florida for Don Cox at 1 p.m. at the Church by the Sea, 501 96th Street, Bal Harbor. And following the service, Mart, Samantha, and Jackie Cox would like you to stop by their home for a bite to eat at 3745 Northeast 171st Street, apartment 45 in North Miami Beach. It says, Don Cox was part of the Power 96 family for many years. He'll always be in our hearts. Cox on the radio will be missed, writes Greg Reed, who has a soft spot in his heart once in a while. Not for Scott Jr. there, who isn't getting paid, but for Don Cox, who passed away.
Well, maybe if Scott passed away.
Yeah, why don't you try dying, Scott? I don't think Greg is that close to Scott yet, though.
We're both making the same amount of money now.
Oh, no. That was, if you think that's going to put you over the top, you just took several steps backward. Anybody think Scott getting paid this year?
No.
No, not now. So anyway, Wesley Clark is going to join in official. This John Edwards goofball from North Carolina, he just announced. Does anybody care?
No.
Does he have any chance? He's got as much chance of winning the nomination as Scott's got getting a paycheck today.
No.
None. So there you go. Boy, a lot of heavy-duty stuff going on, you know what? Heavy, pressure-packed week, and it's only Tuesday. Whatever. Is he still on the air, by the way, that Bruce Williams asshole? Is that crap still on?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, boy, he had to be one of the most annoying, phony baloney. I mean, I give him all the credit. He made a lot of money with never answered anybody's question. Well, Bruce, somebody left me $74,000. What do I do? Well, good luck to you, just use some common sense on a Tuesday and have a great life. And time is up now. We got to take a break.
Is he the guy that always said, call a lawyer, get a good attorney?
Yeah, right.
I could do that.
Stuff. Try chiropractic.
Have you tried masturbating?
Oh, there you are. I like that guy's good. In fact, I'm trying it right now. 5670560, pound 560, or pound whatever happens to be in your hand on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a call in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil, God.
Yes, sir.
If you're able to get a hold of the Mandich tape from yesterday, it happened about 3:30, about 3:31 in the afternoon is when Mandich was tirade, and he apologized to the station sponsors. Because of the way that the station was butchering the schedule.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely worth seeking out. Right at 3:30.
Couldn't believe what he said about Screw-Ann.
Dumb son of a bitch.
And also for the nerd poll, as a package, I'd like to nominate Bob Costas and George Will. I mean, they're both...
Oh, excellent. Outstanding material, sir. Fantastic.
Hey, one last thing also on the rape case at the University of Miami.
Right.
The Beast had a story about 8 o'clock this morning about Brock Berlin sweating profusely and needing multiple showers during the day. I suspect something. After all, Brock is 6 feet tall. He's blonde. Hey, what? I mean, impossible, right?
Rectum.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Neil.
See ya. Well, maybe he spent some time in Berlin.
Bob Costas and who else?
George Will.
Oh.
That little right-wing nerd with a bow tie. That little Cub fan right-wing Nazi fascist bastard, card-carrying member. Two excellent choices there, Bob Costas and George. I wish I could change my vote now, too. Bob Costas, that bit, what's the name of that bit we play where it says, act strange, I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
Dribble Bob Costas. I can't play that often enough. Act strange. I'd love to dribble Bob Costas, just his head up and down a basketball court, up and down a sidewalk. Why couldn't it have been him instead of Dr. Bob?
Right.
You know what I mean? That nasty fall on the icy sidewalk in New York, Dr. Atkins. It was the wrong Bob on the sidewalk. 11:42 at 560, just like it was the wrong radio personality that croaked on yesterday.
Yep.
Instead of Don Cox. And now George was suggesting somebody that rhymes with Don Cox.
Yeah.
In fact, named after one of the characters on Passions, Fox. He really annoys the hell out of me, Fox. There are a lot of characters on that show. In fact, is that show going anywhere?
No.
No, it's not making any progress. Hey, guess what, guys? Sheridan's still down there in the basement. She just had the baby. VIPSportsbook.com is going to get you out of the gambling basement. That's right, because it's a place you can depend on. They're the biggest, the best, unlike these other sports books, these schleppadicky guys who just Johnny-come-latelys came along the other day. 99% of those bookies are located in the jungles of Costa Rica. Good luck to you if you ever cash to get your money. So this year, move up in class and confidence with the best, the oldest and largest sportsbook in the Netherlands, Holland, Amsterdam, and that's VIPSportsbook.com. They're 100% legal and licensed, too. Listen to me. Do the smart thing with your money, okay? Don't put it in the hands of some shyster. Call VIPSportsbook.com right now at 1-866-VIP-BETS because they are South Florida's best sportsbook. Sign up now and you can bet all the South Florida football and basketball teams juice-free all year long. By the way, Dan Marino said, what did he say? He said some illiterate word on I was reading about that in the local papers here yesterday. Danny Boy said some illiterate thing on one of the pregame shows on Sunday. Nice going, Danny. Stick to the fix the lips and stick to the football. You want to bet on the Dolphins? Well, it's 100 to win 100. You want to bet the Hurricanes? It's 100 to win 100. So forget about the VIG. All signups get a 20% cash bonus, not some funny money match play bonus. VIPSportsbook.com online. That's where you find them, or call them toll free 1-866-VIP-BETS. That's 1-866-VIP-BETS. When you call, be sure and tell them you heard about it here on prestigious sports obsessive neurotic QAM. VIPSportsbook.com, where you be the VIP.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Yes. Man, I need help.
Rick Riley stole my briefcase. I like to fart in his face. That's Marmy Dink, what gives him the right. Oh! I think his wife ought to bite it off tonight. Rick Riley stole my briefcase. What a disgrace to the human race. Oh, Rick, you're a schmuck. And Goldberg sucks. That wheel of meat should also include Rick Riley's butt. Oh, Rick Riley stole my briefcase. I like to fart in his face.
I need help.
Rick Riley, you're an asshole.
12 minutes till noon at 560 WQAM. Here's a fax from Chris who says, this past Saturday I was at the Sublime restaurant in Fort Lauderdale. At the table next to mine was a party of 8. I noticed the only male at the table was Mr. Rick Riley. I didn't pay much attention then. Then I heard Rick ask the others at the table to join hands. As I looked over, the Reverend Rick was leading the table in a prayer when the food arrived. Poor suds, it says. And you are...
Absolutely correct, sir.
Poor suds. And it says, P.S. Whatever happened to Sonny Vox? Well, he's still mumbling somewhere, Sonny Vox.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you, Chris, for the incredible report. He found religion.
Yeah.
In fact, what's that other bit?
I found Jesus.
Oh, I got to play that in the next break.
Sure.
Don't let me forget.
Now, there's 2 I found Jesuses.
There are?
Just make sure you get the right one right.
On a stick of halava?
Right.
Well, I don't have the other one.
Really?
No. You got it there? Is it under Rick Riley, perhaps?
There it is.
Well, what's it under?
I found Jesus.
It was on a Saturday morning.
Well, but that's the Jim Schuyler one.
Right,
is that
that's the one.
Is that the one I got?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay, quit trying to throw me off.
Oh, you know what? The other one's called
What?
I Saw Jesus.
On a stick of halava. Anyway, here's one. This Jerry in Bonita Springs. This is a good fact. Says, I'd like to nominate Tom Hanks for your nerd pool. This is one of the most uncool pop icons around. I looked up nerd in the dictionary. Yep, there was this picture and shown right here. Get him on there right away. And it says, I was checking the storm track for Isabel this morning, and I too thought it was ironic the storm missed South Florida could have to end up in Toronto by the weekend, eh? Well, we want it all, man. We want bubonic plague. We want beriberi. We're ready for it. We survived SARS twice, and we'll survive anything. The blackout, you name it, we got it. A bad season by the Leafs, no playoffs, it's coming. Now, here's one that says, I love this fax. How could we have forgotten the unctuous bow tie wearing Tucker Carlson from Crossfire, which has been shortened to 2 minutes? Tucker Carlson, Tom Hanks. So we're getting these all on there?
Yes.
You sure?
Well, I'm emailing them.
George Will, Bob Costas. What is it?
If I sound off mic, it's because I'm emailing.
Weird Al, Dennis Kucinich with that bad hairpiece, even though he says a lot of stuff that makes a lot of sense. Also, the one about Tucker Carlson says, P.S. impeach Bush, which I like a lot. Good idea. Let's get right on it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line, 266 votes. Who's the biggest nerd of them all? Bill Gates, 95, Carrot Top, 58, Paul Schaefer, 25, Rick Riley, 24, doing well. Woody Allen, 18, Adam Sandler, 17. George W. came from nowhere. He's up to 8 votes already. And if he doesn't have enough to win, they'll steal some. Brian Norcross, 6, Sean Hannity, 6, Mike Lupica, 5. Jay Fiedler's got a pair of big ears. Ross Perot, 1, and George Will, 1. Everybody else small potatoes so far, but we're adding to it. You're right. This is a poll much too important, much too mammoth and significant.
Right.
To, shortchange it. Too many nerds and so little time. Here's a call from Kendall. Hello.
Hey there, Neil. What's happening?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Hey, number one, a vote for David Spade. Definitely.
Amen.
And as far as, some of the names you're naming, like George Will, professional nerd.
Mm-hmm.
It's a poser. He's probably a different person, not that I agree with his politics, but, some of these guys put on a show. But as far as, the political aspect, I would agree with impeaching Bush completely, except who would we get? Cheney.
Dick. We'd get a Dick, yeah, Dick in the White House.
Exactly. So I'd rather have Alfred E. Newman than Adolf
But
Hitler.
you already got that, yeah.
Another dick in the White House?
No, we couldn't have that.
Well, I'd rather have Alfred E. Newman than...
I'd rather have the real one. Sounds good to me. At least we get a few laughs anyway.
Well, actually, you're probably right.
And if he was in there, maybe the rest of the world wouldn't hate us like poison like they do now.
Well, they would at least be laughing while they did it.
Right.
It'd be more fun to travel overseas. Have a good one, Neil.
You too, pal. Thanks.
Later.
Here's one, V. I wonder if that's Bobby V. Take good care. Rubber Ball. Remember Rubber Ball by Bobby V? Bouncy, bouncy. What silly song. And The Night Has 1,000 Eyes. Remember that?
Sure.
The night. I remember Phil Henry and I got into a big thing about Bobby V one day on here. Remember that?
No, big thing. A tiff?
A big thing. Yeah. Well, not for real, but it just, he hated Bobby V. And I think he talked me into it,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Talked you into hating him?
Well, not hating him. Here are some names that haven't been mentioned. Jeff Goldblum. I mean, he's not a nerd. He's just grotesque. Ben Stein. Ben Stein belongs on there. He's a nerd. Doesn't he also wear a bow tie? Anybody that wears a bow tie in my book is a nerd.
Right.
Chris Collinsworth of Fox and HBO. Oh, I hate Chris Collinsworth, man. That's good. Put him on there. And he's adopted this since he became a broadcaster after his marginal football career ended with the Bengals. He adopted this affected way of speaking, and his voice keeps getting higher and higher. Pretty soon he's going to be like Geldy. Our own local Hurricanes geek, Joe Z, Mr. Penis Face. Yeah. Joe Zagacki.
Got it.
That promo that we played of him calling that touchdown, that has, why are we playing that? Do we have any embarrassment level at all?
No.
Obviously. That has got to be, although it's definitive, Joe, just out of control. Let me say it again. Good guy. His play-by-play work is so atrocious, there are no words for it. And I can't believe, don't let me forget tomorrow to bust Pharrell's balls about that. Why does he suck it up to Zagacki?
I don't know.
Is Joe,
I don't know.
Maybe Joe is going to get him into that locker room at UM. Well, Pharrell, he never gets enough.
The rape room?
Ed in Fort Lauderdale says, for the nerd poll, speaking of George Will, Sam Donaldson of ABC News. That's a good choice. Another nerd. Although I don't know if he's so much of a nerd as a geek. But we'll put him in there anyway, just because he's got the bad hairpiece. The worst. Sam Donaldson. And you know who else belongs on this?
Who?
Speaking of ABC News, how could they have all forgotten? Who's the show named after now, the former David Brinkley show? George Stephanopoulos.
No.
Right? Is that a nerd or what? George Stephanopoulos. Oh, how the hell do you spell?
Just like it sounds. I can do it.
Opoulos. I got it right.
Yeah.
George Stephanopoulos, man. He's another one also for the Eye for the Queer guy, that poll later on. A lot of stories about him, just like they were about Ari Fleischer with a bald head. Because generally speaking, those bald guys, it's other guys that are looking for them, not women. Here's one. It says, just a suggestion, you might want to read the Nation's Wesley Clark editorial by Katrina Vanden Heuvel before jumping on the bandwagon. Did I jump on his bandwagon?
He has a bandwagon?
I didn't even know he had one. All I said was that he was running, which I think is a good thing, because I'd like to see the Democrats win the election, no matter who the hell they stick in there, even Mickey Mouse. But, well, I'll read this later on. I can't do it while I'm on the air. Oh, you know who this is probably from?
Oh.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. Certainly not from the one that was touting Wesley Clark a couple of weeks ago. They either love or hate these people like the Howard Dean basher from the other day, the professional Jew that's all bent out of shape because Howard Dean told the truth about the Middle East and how we ought to keep our nose out of it. And if we're going to stick our nose into it, we ought to be like fair on a fair playing level. Yeah.
Revolutionary.
What a concept. Yeah. That whole Middle East thing, man, it's been going on for thousands of years, and I've been telling you folks from every minute I've been on the air and will continue telling you it's never, ever going to end. You have two groups of people whose ultimate goal is to drive each other into the sea, the eradication, the elimination of the other, okay? Murder, chaos, mayhem, bloodshed on the highway and every place else. That's it. Nothing else needs to be said. And every time it looks like we have, the road map, we're taking a step on the road map, we take 10 big steps back. Right, just like that and fall on our ass.
But just remember...
Here's another settlement. Here's another suicide bomber. Here go 2 more settlements up. Here goes more bombs in Gaza.
Helicopter gunship.
Right.
But remember, it's a God of love.
It's a God of love.
Amen.
Right. It's probably...
Oh, God.
11:56 at 560 WQM. If you love good food, but you're tired of being fat, out of shape, lethargic, maybe diabetic or on the verge of it, Balance for Life is the answer so many of you have been looking for. Everybody who's fat, and I know from experience, see, when skinny people talk about diets and about losing weight, they don't know their ass from my elbow. But I know it because I've been fat for a long, long time. I mean, as high as 266 once upon a time. Is that incredible? That's disgusting. Yeah. And we still have some of those fatter pictures from IOD back in the 240-pound days. Balance for Life is what you're looking for instead of monkeying around with all those other things that don't work, those fads, the grapefruit diet, the saltine diet, the Army diet, the Navy diet, the Air Force diet, all of that crap. Doesn't work. Balance for Life is working for a lot of our listeners, and the Beast is losing weight on again, too, that we finally threatened him with death if he doesn't cut the crap. There's nothing to count, no calories, no carbs, even if you're stupid, even if you're like undecided, because there's no cooking, no shopping, no cleaning, nothing to worry about except filling out your little menu once a week. They have 2 choices for every meal and snack every day that you're on a program, and they deliver right to your door. No matter how lazy you are, this can work for because they deliver to your door, to your work, to your home by 6 a.m., that little black sack. And in your sack, all the food you need for the whole day. 3 gourmet meals, 2 delicious snacks, all made with the best, freshest ingredients. Nothing frozen, no artificial ingredients, no preservatives, no chemicals, no crap. So let Balance for Life help you lose that weight once and for all, get into shape, and start seeing results on the scales within a matter of days. And, of course, the faster you see the results, the better you're going to stick on the program. Balance for Life. Call them at 954-568-3229. 954-568-3229, or visit their website at balanceforlife.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
This is Dick Cheney. I like to relax by having Mary Magdalene massage my balls while listening to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
It was on a Saturday morning at exactly 9:04, but nothing could prepare me when I knocked on Riley's door. He was drowsy, he was grumpy, and in bad need of a shave. He was just about to put a cat into the microwave. I asked to use the bathroom, and he said he didn't care. He was reading the Sun Sentinel in his underwear. I looked above the toilet where the towels used to be, and there was fixed a crucifix, a fix for all to see. I didn't seek salvation. I had come to mow the lawn, but I found Jesus in Rick Riley's John. Oh. Yes, Brother Rick, he changed my life up on that fateful day. 'Cause by the time I washed my hands, I'd washed my sins away. Now I'll learn to be intolerant. I'll watch Pat Robertson, and I'll vote for Pat Buchanan, even if he doesn't run. I'll pretend to be a hipster, but my liberal days are gone. 'Cause I found Jesus in Rick Riley's John.
All right.
Back Back at you. Buttloads back at you. Boy, we haven't heard that in a long time. Who I should point out to you, smokes maybe like one cigar a month, he told me.
Right.
But he's got a good scam going. Cigar Dave.
Nice yellow suit.
Yeah. Back at you. Oh, brother, what a ripoff. What a con artist. And when you start stealing material from Rick Riley. Oh. Although that was Don and Mike. We were talking about that just the other day, remember?
Right.
They stole payphone challenge. They call it telephone booth challenge.
Don and Mike, blow.
Right. The big one. In fact, Scott's a big Don and Mike fan, I think.
No.
You're not? When I said that the other day, I played that, you got very upset. In fact, I think that's what prevented you from getting on the payroll so far. We're postponing it until you admit that Don and Mike blow. Where did you know Don and Mike from?
They were up at NEW for a short stint, and it couldn't have been short enough.
Don and Mike, blow.
Yeah, they were stealing everybody else's gig. Everything that anybody else was doing, they were stealing it. Matt, Chronic Faxer Matt says, hey Neil, my vote is for George W. for Uber Geek. Especially when he did the fighter pilot dress-up thing. Just because I dress up like Superman Halloween time doesn't make me Superman. Just because you put a cape on doesn't mean you like chicken. See the attached image of the actual G.W. Bush fighter pilot doll and a more realistic George W. Bush frat boy doll. Love and kisses. Thank you, Matt. It's a beautiful thing. This is a great picture.
I emailed that guy to see if we can get a clean copy for the site.
Ooh, I like that, yeah. The AWOL photo of George in Tijuana 71, the historically accurate action figure.
If they actually
George
made that
W.
doll,
Bush frat boy. I beg your pardon?
I'd buy 10 if they actually
I'd buy 100. I'd give them out. Hurricane watch stretches more than 330 miles, and the ass end of Isabel is supposed to be right here in Toronto, where all the bad stuff eventually comes.
Along Highway 12. Very little activity that we've seen. You can see a fire engine maybe over there.
You'll notice that all the network, these geeks are getting ready to do what they always do every time there's a big major storm, a tropical storm, a hurricane. They all get out there so they can stand in the middle of the wild, violent wind and rain and look like they're getting blown away.
And some of them do.
They do?
Yeah. Their lives are forfeit when they send them out there.
Really?
Some people get wiped out.
Can I help you with something, Nancy?
Oh, no, I was just...
I'll tell you one thing. I'm serious about this. I got to get Playboy TV off of my set because every show that they got, all of the movies they have on it, everybody in here is hot.
Right.
Seriously. Male, female, some in between. I mean, everything down there. They don't have any, very many ugly people on here, as opposed to your usual porno, which is loaded with some really unappealing, nasty, scabby-looking people.
Purple scars.
Oh.
Stretch marks.
Here's one that says, I can't remember his name, but what about adding to the pool that infomercial guy with the funky gray hair and all the question marks on his suit? He sells books.
Matthew Lesko.
Who is it?
Matthew Lesko.
How did you know that?
It's not infomercials, it's just commercials.
Hey, Matthew, let's go.
He tells you how to get money from the government to
How do you spell that? Lesco?
I don't know. You got a bit about him.
We have a bit about Matthew Lesko? And I didn't play Act Strange yet.
Nope.
But I will. Let me write it down. Also, wondering if you ever considered writing a book on your own about the life and times of Neil Rogers. I'd pay $24.99, says Aaron in Palmetto Bay. How about a little more like...
About 30, man.
Yeah, that would do it. Here's some names for the pool. It says Nerd Pool, Eugene Levy, Rick Moranis, and David Letterman. Rick Moranis is about 2 feet tall. Rick Moranis. Let's get his ass on there. Rick Moranis, Annis. David Letterman? David Letterman's a nerd? No.
Whatever.
Thanks, Tracy and Kendall, but 1 out of 3 ain't bad. I don't know who Eugene Levy is. Some Jew.
Sure you do. American Pie, the father. SCTV.
No. He's not the nerd, but the son in what's the kid's name? He's a nerd.
You're right.
That's the nerd.
Jason Biggs.
That's it. Because I just saw a preview for some movie he's in now. Jason Biggs. He's the nerd. And making a fortune being there. He's not a nerd like in a negatory way, but he just is a nerd, you know.
And I heard he wasn't.
He wasn't what?
Biggs.
He wasn't big?
No.
Okay, so there you go with the list is growing like crazy. We started, well, it's my fault for trying to jam too much all into one day. We got a lot of days, man. We got a lot of days. Unless I win the freaking lottery for $17 million here Friday night, we got a lot of days. I think I'm going to start playing the Canadian lottery. You know why it's really good?
You've cashed before on that, right?
No. When did I cash on a Canadian lottery?
I thought one year because you play this spread thing, you actually
when I was down there and I was doing it by mail. Yeah, I did cash, not that much. I don't remember what it was. It was insignificant. But the jackpot's $17 million. If you cash it here, even though it's in the crappy Canadian currency, which is only worth 73 cents on the American dollar, you get all cash. You don't it's not one of these annuity things or you pay taxes. It's tax-free, cash on the barrelhead. Here you go. Give me the ticket. Here's your money. Have a great life. That's the way it should be. Because the lotto is such a rip-off anyway, such a scam, the worst bet in the history of mankind. So why not give you the goddamn cash, okay? Although I'm not, this is no great checks when it comes to taxes. Here you got the GST, the PST, the pain in the SST. By the time you buy, even like a soda here, you go and buy like a Coke, a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
There's like 27 cents tax on the goddamn thing. It's just, yeah. Oh, there's like a lot of tax. The GST, I don't know what that stands for.
General sales tax?
I think that could be it.
Good guess.
Or Get Screwed in Toronto, I think it stands for. 2 Naples students sent home for wearing Confederate flag T-shirts. Naples, Florida. Home of the Beasleys, by the way, who don't want to pay Scott the money that he's earning. He's working there for free, which I think is illegal in the first place. Shame on you people, okay? And by the way, Greg Reed, quit using the sympathy of Don Cox's passing away as an excuse to being cheap and not getting the Beasleys to pay this man some money. That's an embarrassment, okay? I feel bad, too, about Cox. He was a good guy. I knew him a long time, worked with him several times. We did all those Kindle Toyota commercials together, infomercials. But you know something? That one thing's got nothing to do with the other, and Kid Curry showed up for work yesterday, okay? And even Tanner, who liked Cox a lot, and still does, I'm sure. Even he's continuing with his life.
Yeah, and it is a Tanner building, remember.
It is the Tanner building, so okay. So, Greg, we understand, we feel your pain, but in the meantime, Scott's feeling pain in his wallet, as in empty. He's got like nothing but butterflies in there like Rimmer. Naples, 2 high school students were sent home early from school for wearing T-shirts bearing the Confederate flag. Todd and Andrew Sloan, students at Naples High School, were among 17 students who wore the shirts sporting the flag yesterday. Principal Gary Brown announced Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. In other words, they were flaunting it. Because I'm just trying to absorb this because I read it hours ago. Principal Gary Brown announced Friday that the school's ban on the Confederate flag would be enforced because students had argued about the flag. The ban is part of the school's student code of conduct. All of the students were told yesterday could either hide the Confederate flag by turning their shirts inside out or wearing another one or go home. The Sloans were the only students to leave the building over the incident. My sons chose to support their Southern heritage, said their father, Todd Sloan, who I believe used to play for the Chicago Blackhawks, who picked up his sons at 10:30 in the morning. Remember Todd Sloan, Scott?
No.
Before you were born.
I remember Stan Mikita.
Good, but that's good. That's how about Ted Lindsay?
No.
How about Mike Nikolic?
No, thank you.
How about Tony Esposito?
Yes, great goaltender.
How about Bobby Hull?
Yep.
Naples officials, see, it's a sure way to turn off the audience, start with the hockey stuff, and end with the harness racing names like Gordon Fraser Jr., Ray Crunk, Shelley Goodrow. Naples high officials ban all flags except banners for the U.S., the individual states, or Collier schools. The ban could now expand to all Collier schools, said Assistant Superintendent Michelle Lugo. We understand it's a symbol of Southern pride. However, the court, who says that, however? There's one of the, one Yahoo politician. However, the court ruled it's also seen by many as offensive, Lugo said in a news conference. In May 2001, students wearing the Confederate flag at Naples High clashed with others who were celebrating Haitian Independence Day. The issue, however, has been decided in a higher court. Haitian Independence Day? Now, was that when Papa Doc came in or Baby Doc?
Doc Gooden.
Ooh, Doc Gooden. Let's make another list of the worst druggies in all of sports. In March 2003, the Atlanta-based 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals held a lower court's decision allowing schools to ban the Confederate flag. The court held the ban didn't restrict students' free speech rights. In Scott versus School Board of Alachua County, the appeals court wrote, part of a public school's essential mission must be to teach students of differing races, creeds, and colors to engage each other in civil terms rather than in terms of debate highly offensive or highly threatening to others. So in other words, just because you're in school with a bunch of other kids and you don't happen to like the way that they look or their ethnic heritage or the color of their skin or something like that, it's probably not a good idea to walk up to them and say,
"You asshole."
Right. Right?
Oh, well.
Okay. Not a way to make friends and influence people in a positive way.
"You asshole."
Like when you walk up to your colleague who's doing a very early morning show and keeps getting driven deeper back into the wee hours of the morning and walk up to him and want to express how you feel about the way he looks and smells and the whole ambiance of his person and say,
"You asshole."
It's okay only at QAM. We got special dispensation from the Pope, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Te absorbo.
So there's another contra, Tom, says the rednecks in the Deep South just can't get rid of that obnoxious, hateful symbol, which I see nothing different between that and the swastika. No difference. But you'll never convince those good old boys, man. Good old boys. 12:13 at 560 WQAM. Hey, forget about a symbol on the top of your head, although you might have those 3 6s on there. Wow. I bet you William Holden get really psychotic about that. Or was it Gregory Peck? Which one of those Omen movies was it?
Yes.
It was the Gregory Pecker one?
Yes.
Oh. Anyway, if you got like a big bald spot and when you're checking for the 3 6s and the hair doesn't grow back and it's just a big shiny gleaming spot there because you're losing that hair with male pattern baldness, Charles Alfieri is the hero you're looking for because he's the best in the business. Using the latest technology, Charlie produces sensational results for guys who need a lot of hair, want a little bit of hair, with the most amazing natural hairline system available in the world at any price. In business for over 25 years, Charlie's done it for the famous and the not-so-famous because even the millionaires know that for no price in the world can they get a better-looking head of real-looking hair. And everybody gets Charlie's 30-day guarantee. After 30 days, if you don't love the way it looks and feels and smells, if you're not getting ahead like 10, 15, 20 times an hour, Charlie will give you a full refund. So all you have to lose is that big glaring bald spot. And if you call today and mention my name, you can take advantage of your $200 Neil Rogers discount, too. And don't forget, Charlie also services and repairs all types of hair systems while you wait for only $25 to $30 and probably can make that muskrat come alive for you. So call toll-free today, 1-800-321-2413. That's 1-800-321-2413. You can look younger and better than you ever dreamed you could again, or get more info on his website at charlesalfieri.com.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Joining us from Des Moines, Democrat of Massachusetts, now an official candidate for his party's nomination.
I might add.
Don't interrupt. Go to some phone calls. You're watching Larry King Live. Denver, Colorado. Hello.
Senator Kerry, how will you pay off the deficit? You're going to have to kick back in more money now. And by the way, we're going to penalize every family in America.
Port Richey, Florida. Hello.
Senator Kerry, is it true that you used to work at Sears as a mannequin?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
19 years experience.
Olympia, Washington. Hello.
Senator Kerry, what will you do with health care? I had health care because I'm a United States Senator and I could afford it. And that's why I'm going to see to it that everyone in America can't get what I got. We can't serve all of you because we don't have enough money. The reason we don't have enough money, Larry, is because I party.
Gardner, Massachusetts. Hello.
Senator Kerry, how's the herpes?
Oh, you're really nice to ask. I'm able to say that I am cured, and I want to stay that way.
Thank you, Senator. We'll be seeing you again soon.
Thanks so much.
Senator John Kerry, now an official candidate for his party's nomination.
And so is everybody else, I guess. Here's the facts about that Wesley Clark thing in reference to their other facts.
Right.
Ouch, on the Wesley Clark bandwagon reference says the fact, sir, I apologize for my perceived implication. Apology accepted. Obviously, I used a term which has a very negative connotation. As the author of the facts you received earlier today, I'd like to remain separate from any other previous facts on the subject, as I did not author those. I'm neither a Clark booster nor a Clark hater. I found the info in the Vanden Heuvel article very insightful, thought I would share it with you. It's definitely not a bashing article. P.S. Personally, I'm quite leery of party jumpers. I'm quite leery also of party jumpers and party poopers. You know what I mean?
No.
Like Robert Grieper.
Oh.
So just in case they decide not to pay Scott and he vamooses and we wish him all the best, but I don't think it's going to happen. But in case it does, because you never know with these bastards. Cheap. What?
I think it's going to happen.
You think what?
That he's going to get paid.
Oh. Well, the way you said that, like you thought he was going to get screwed.
No, he has been getting screwed. I think they're done.
He's been getting screwed? Well, listen, if Zach can do it, certainly he ought to be able to get
screwed. I think they're finished screwing him.
I mean, really? Based on what?
I don't know. I caught a whiff.
I know who Clarence is voting for on our poll today. You know what? Rick Moranis. You want to know why? When the year started, I said, "Hey, Clarence, what would you like best for the new year? What's your wish?" He said, "More anus." Here's the facts from Quincy, who says, "First, great show as usual. You're kicking ass." Well, that ass.
Rectum.
I think George started that on the show with all that eating ass stuff, and then Dwight Lauderdale picked up on it, and then our good friend from Channel 10, what's her name, Gail Not So Bright. That didn't get any. See, because it's such a prissy town, and because we don't have anybody in town who writes, funny stuff. That would have been a panic if somebody would have written that up. That would have been great if somebody like Tom Jicka. Oh, but he's not going to do that. He's too busy writing puff pieces about horrible network shows. That was one of the funniest things in the history of South Florida television. And for anybody who doesn't remember that glorious moment, they came in. Now, what was they were interviewing me or doing a piece on me about something. What was that about?
Something. Anniversary, who knows?
Yeah, right. And Gail Bright, who's, of course, a former colleague of ours from WIOD, nice young lady.
Yes.
Gail came in, a little ditzy sometime, but very nice. And she, in fact, do you remember she begged me? I said, no, I don't want to do it, because I got tired of all that crap, And I said, okay, for you, I'll do it. And she brought the photographer in, and they just taped me just on the air, doing my usual rambling and ranting and raving. And it was the summer, was it the first summer that you did the fill-ins? It must have been 3 years ago.
Yes.
And that was when Matty Bell, who was one of the many counter spies in the building for Greg Reed, he was running around, "Oh, Greg, he's talking about eating ass on the air." Matty set himself up as the self-appointed censor of the Neil Rogers show with George Rodriguez hosting.
Right.
And so Matty became very upset over the fact that you were, and of course he was a good one to talk because he was busy harassing some broad in the building. But at any rate, so Matty was all bent out of shape over the eating ass shows. And so they taped the whole thing, and they obviously were supposed to edit this segment to put on Channel 10 News. Now, who was the female? Was it Christy Kruger with the crossed eyes, or was it somebody else?
I thought it was Christy Kruger, right?
Yeah, with Dwight Lauderdale.
Dwight, yeah.
And so they're going on this thing about they're introducing about Neil Rogers celebrates his 25th year. Yeah, it was my 25th anniversary. 25 years on the air in South Florida. Of course, Neil is always unpredictable, and Dwight Lauderdale introduces it. And here's the clip, and I'm saying, and I'm waving my arms frantically as I'm wont to do sometime on the air. And I'm saying, Greg, George is talking about eating ass. And all of a sudden, we come back, and Dwight Lauderdale is as white as he will ever be in his life. I mean, he is ashen. His face is as white as Casper the Unfriendly Ghost.
Mouth agape, eyes bugging.
His chin down to his knee. And then, of course, they racked it up again and later on came back and showed the part that was supposed to be on the air. But that was only an accident. Probably the greatest piece of tape that was ever on Channel 10 in history.
I saw it live. I almost died.
Yeah. Oh, you saw it live?
Sure.
He's talking about eating ass. This is
sounds like big fun.
My eyes bugged out.
It was fabulous. You had to see it. You had to be there to believe it.
I'm sure there's a copy around here somewhere.
We have it on tape. I bet you we still have it there somewhere.
I would enjoy seeing it.
Oh, you'd love it. To see the look, the expression on his face, and then he came back and he tried to salvage it and they looked at each other with like a look of disbelief. Like, did that really just happen? Did that get on the air? And like, well, he sure is something.
He's always unpredictable.
Oh, and of course, Dwight was extra embarrassed because then he knew the word leaked out about him eating Ann Bishop's ass even after she died, which was terrible.
Ooh.
That's why he had to shave off his mustache. They were going to trace for Ann's DNA in his mustache. That's why he had to shave it off. Did you know that?
I'm going to puke.
Up until this day, you never knew that.
No.
Eh? Anyway, here's the facts from Quincy. Says, first grade show as usual, you're kicking ass. You're absolutely, and by the way, I just want to say this before I read the rest of Quincy's facts, because I have a feeling that we're really doing it here, with Pharrell on there now, with Mad Dog going wild from 2 to 4, with a humper on there in the afternoon for a couple hours a day, however much he feels like working, whatever strikes his fancy at the moment, and the Marlins on fire. I think between 8 in the morning and 2 o'clock in the morning, we're kicking ass, with all apologies to Joe and Mark. You know what I mean?
No.
So Thursday around 11:40, mark this down. Today's already Tuesday the 16th. Thursday the 18th, 11:40 a.m. We're going to be proudly saying,
we're number one, damn it!
For the 8 millionth time in a row. Maybe not 8 million, but
about 30, man.
Times in a row on this radio station. I think we're going to be kicking, unless I'm wrong. Now let me look at my drawer here. Whistle a tune. Because I don't really know. Now let's see, is this year or last year? I don't know what these numbers are. Oh, this is from last year. I have the sheet that's got the month by month, the monthlies.
Right. I got them.
You do? Well, no, because we're going to be dropping off May. This is going to be June, July, and Agosto.
See.
With this trend, these 3 months, which is going to be 2/3 of the summer book. Now, the May that we're dropping off, was May good or bad?
I don't remember. I'll have to go off here.
You don't have, you just got through saying you got it.
Hey, June was good.
No, not June, May. I'm not talking about June. I'm talking about, I know June was ass-kicking, and so was July. I'm talking about May. What are we dropping off?
Pornography. Here we go. Numbers.
Yeah. I bet you there's a couple of good numbers in there.
We want hours.
If I knew this was going to be such a big project, I probably would have
a great time.
We don't want to kill great time. We got a lot of people here wanting to add to
our... May was a 5-1. May was not great.
As compared to what were the other ones?
6-4 in April, 5-1 in May, 7-1 in June, as you know.
So May sucked.
Right.
So we're going to be dropping off terrible, the worst of the month.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Thursday could be I don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, but we'll be proudly announcing.
We're number one, damn it!
And that morning is going to be zooming up, and we know it's going to be Scott.
Absolutely.
Morrell.
No, you don't know that for a fact.
I'll bet you Mo's life on it. How do you like that?
No, that was sarcasm in case you didn't hear it.
I knew that, but I'm just saying, just to be put more emphasis on it.
I am betting nothing.
So you think Clarence is going to get more anus this year? 1226 at 560. Hey, if he keeps hanging out at UM with that blonde wig on his tippy toes.
I want to get
You know it was him. You know it was him, man, that rear attack. Hey, when your carpets are looking and smelling really funky, man, you know it's time to call Dry Concepts. If you would call anybody else, you'd have to have your head examined. I really mean that. I've been using them in my house for well over 20 years. They've been around in town for well over 20 years. And nobody who's smart calls anybody else because nobody comes close to the job they do for you at a very, very fair guaranteed price every time. When I say guaranteed, they give you a guaranteed written price before they start the job, so you don't have to, pace up and down worrying about whether they're going to rip you off when they get finished. Dry Concepts now is offering you a chance to save 15% on your next carpet cleaning. Better call them now, though, because it's getting to the end of the summer, the dog days, and this probably won't last all that long. Just call Dry Concepts toll-free, 1-800-248-5071. Ask to be put on their standby list. And then Dry Concepts will call you next time they've got an opening in their schedule. It's the same idea as when you fly standby. If you're ready, if you're available when they have an opening, they'll knock 15% off the price for you, and they'll be there in no time at all. So call Dry Concepts today. Ask to be put on their standby list. They might even have an opening for it today or whatever day you call them. And you'll get 15% off the regular, already low price of the job. If you want a stupendous, unbeatable job on your carpets, your drapery, your furniture, all of these things and lots more, call toll-free 1-800-248-5071. And don't forget the great work they do on your Oriental rugs and carpets, too. 1-800-248-5071 or check them on the web at dryconcepts.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. UAM.
And beat that gator meat.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could offer only one tip for the future, act strange and people will leave you alone. The rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. Put a slinky around your neck and try to walk downstairs backwards head first. Sit naked in a large bowl of Rice Krispies and sing Feelings while the kernels go snap, crackle, and pop. Go up to a ticket booth and try to stick your head through the hole where they say how much. Lick a stranger. Tell them you're from Bosnia and your country, it's a sign of respect. Take lots of pills. One of them might work. Occasionally ask a stranger if they've heard anything from Lewis. Be annoying. During an IRS audit, staple the guy's hand to his desk. Moon a funeral. Play go fetch with a seeing-eyed dog while he's working. Run naked through a mall yelling, "Killer bees! Killer bees!" Say the word titty without smiling. Try to figure out who said Pauly Shore should star in movies. Don't be surprised if it's the same guy who said John Gacy should work with kids. Ask an old lady if you can carry her groceries, then try to make a run for it. Disappear for great lengths of time. Try to touch your forehead with your tongue. It may not work, but many women will appreciate the effort. At a high school reunion, tell your old English teacher that your dog's still eating your homework. Ask Mark McGuire if he'll take $1 million for one of his balls. Try to find the secret to Carrot Top's success. Understand your conception was an accident, that your parents got wasted and wanted a few more laughs before they passed out. Try not to lose your finger in your nose. Pick up Bob Costas and toss him on the lawn next door.
Oh!
Go on a car trip with Bob Costas and force him to stay in his car seat.
All right.
Try to dribble Bob Costas. Ask all your friends and family for forgiveness. Knowing you've done some crap that's really pissed them off. Wish no ill will to anyone. Unless you don't like them, then screw them, they're on their own. Realize anyone who says they're completely happy are completely full of crap. Ask a Hell's Angel if he's a woman, or has he always walked like that? Understand that there are bad people in the world, and you may just be one of them. Sniff an old lady. Imagine Gomer Pyle in a gay bar trying to get lucky. Do this without laughing. Find what's left of your innocence. Understand it, embrace it, protect it, and every so often, take it out for a nice nosh. Care enough not to care. Hum while you eat. Act strange, and people will leave you alone.
What about Martin Short?
What about him?
Isn't he a nerd?
Sure he is. A dweeb.
Okay, I like Martin Short, don't get me wrong, but he belongs on there. Good news. The Republican-led U.S. Senate defied Bush administration opposition and voted today to rescind new regulations allowing large media companies to grow even bigger.
Oh! Right.
How do you like that?
I like it a lot.
By a 55-40 vote, the Senate approved a resolution that would roll back the FCC rules allowing TV networks to own more local stations and preventing conglomerates to own a newspaper, TV stations, and radio outlets in a single market. The measure faces a tougher battle if the House and a threat of veto by President Bush. What does it say? The measure faces a tougher battle in the House of Representatives and a threat of veto by President Bush if it reaches his desk. The Republican-led FCC narrowly adopted the new rules in June, which would allow TV networks to own local stations that collectively reach 45% of the national audience, up from 35%, which was the previous law. Under the new rules, one company could own a newspaper, a TV station, and several radio stations in a single market, lifting a decades-old ban on cross-ownership. How about cross-burning? A company would also be permitted to own 2 local TV stations in more local markets. The regulations were drawn up under the leadership of FCC Chairman, the unctuous Michael Powell, son of our Secretary of State, sellout, I got all these maps here for you, Powell.
Boo.
Who argued the relaxed limits were necessary to reflect the proliferation of cable satellite TV and Internet offerings, as well as preserve over-the-air broadcast TV. TV networks like Viacom, Inc., CBS, and News Corp's Fox, the unctuous Fox, contended they needed to acquire more local stations to better compete against cable and satellite TV services. Critics ranging from the National Rifle Association to Consumers Union, as well as Democrats and Republicans in Congress, charged that the rules would narrow the choices of viewpoints and cut local news coverage. And they are
absolutely correct, sir.
So for the time being, it faces a rocky road. It looks like we're okay for now. For now.
Yeah, I know.
So Quincy faxes and says, first great show as usual, you're kicking ass. I don't know, want to tilt your poll to become a jock poll, but Ricky Williams will win this nerd poll, plus the upcoming gay poll. That's what you call killing 2 birds with 1 stone, Ricky back to back. Yeah, we've heard those rumors about Ricky, okay? About him and Rick Moranis. P.S. It says, somebody just said Tom Hanks' picture in the nerd spot. No, it says, facts sure look real good. It's Ricky without the dreadlocks. So we're going to put Ricky Williams on there? Why not? Got everybody else on there. If we can put Martin Short, why the hell not Ricky Williams? With those, we got to have one guy with dreadlocks. We don't have any women on there. I guess there are no women who are really nerds. You don't think of women as nerds.
Not generally, but I'm sure there are if we think about it.
Such as?
I don't know, Janine Garofalo.
Oh, that's terrible. What about, what's her name from Laverne and Shirley? Penny Marshall.
Okay.
Is she a nerd?
I don't know.
See, you don't usually think, I mean, she's just ditzy. She's like a ditzy broad. There's a difference between a nerd, but there's got to be somewhere in the category to fit in here. No.
Hillary.
No, wait. Hillary's a nerd?
What would you call her?
Evil bitch?
Don't answer.
Evil bitch?
Okay.
Oh, you thought I was going to say the C with the
yeah,
word.
That's what I thought.
I see. Boy Scout counselor charged with fondling teens at Keys Camp, Alamorada. A Miami man's been arrested on charges he fondled 4 teenage boys from Pennsylvania at a Boy Scout camp in the Florida Keys. Keith Walker, 26, was accused by the boys of reaching into their bathing suits during a scuba diving class at the Florida Sea Base camp on August 13. The boys, ages 14 and 15, immediately reported the abuse at the camp's general manager, Dennis St. Jean. A very remorseful Walker was fired 1 hour later, St. Jean said. I wonder if he's related to Jean Valjean. Well, I need to reread that, you know? Less miserables.
Okay.
Wouldn't we all like to be less miserable?
Yeah, Scott's going to steal some bread here in a minute.
What does that mean?
Isn't that what he did? He stole a loaf of bread?
Yeah. Hung out with the rats. We'll put him up in my attic for safekeeping. Walker was arrested Thursday, 3 weeks after a warrant was issued for 4 counts of lewd and lascivious acts on a minor, said Becky Heron, spokeswoman for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Detectives said an earlier arrest was delayed when Walker evidently avoided his Miami apartment. Walker held on a $150,000 bond fee, returned to Monroe County to face the music. The alleged fondling took place halfway through a scuba certification program in a dive tank attended by a group of 8 teenage boys from the Philadelphia area, St. Jean said. Walker singled out 4 of the teens and took them one by one to a section of the tank away from their group where the abuse allegedly occurred, St. Jean said. St. Jean said Boy Scout policy to head off possible sexual abuse mandates that no boys can be alone with one adult. Another adult counselor was in attendance but at another location in the dive tank when the alleged fondling took place. Walker had cleared the camp's background check and taught there for 3 summers in the spring session. St. Jean said he had no prior criminal record in Florida. So there you go. He reached allegedly into their bathing suits during a scuba diving class, and we can only imagine what he found in there. Something.
Maybe he was checking for hernias.
Could be. 20 till 1 at 560 WQM. We got the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich at 2. We got the Humper on briefly today. A tough assignment again, 4 to 6:30, including 1 hour of the Rob Conrad Show, 5 to 6. So it's like basically another day off for the Humper. He's got like a perpetual vacation. He's learning. Marlins on deck at 6:30. Boy, this is a pressure-packed night. Marlins at the Phillies. The Marlins with a 1.5 lead on Philadelphia for the wild card in the National League right now with only 13 games left. Marlins at the Phillies, 7:05. We got the game tonight. The call by the incredibly boring Dave Van Boring and the outstanding Boogster Shambi. Eddie K after the game and Joe and Mark overnight. That's the agenda. That's the schedule. On QAM, where the hits just keep on coming. Boy, I'm glad that we're dropping off a bad May. Man, that means we got a possibility.
That.
Huh?
I forgot all about May.
Yeah, it means we got a possibility of a really big one.
Oh.
Maybe even bigger than the one that guy pulled out of those bathing suits. 20 till 1 at QAM, announcing a 2003 Neil Rogers blowout sale going on right now at Hallett Pontiac GMC. Talk to my good buddies Tom Lehman and Joe Prieto and save yourself a Schmidt-load of cash at Hallett, even more than usual. Here's special needle deal number 1. Save yourself up to $7,000 with the highest rebates of the year, plus deep discounts way down into your pantaloonies. Deal number 2. Get 0% financing for up to 5 years. And listen to this. You can lease a 2003 Pontiac Grand Prix GT2 for just $279 a month for 36 months with 12,000 miles a year and only $2,000 out of pocket. You heard right. You pay only $279 a month. Hallett's also got great deals on Yukons and Denali's for you. And as always, Hallett's got an unbeatable, a stupendous, gigantic selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs that you can depend your life on, or Scott's, as the case may be. And if you're one of those people, and there are a lot of you out there whose credit isn't perfect, maybe you have a blemish or two, and on your credit record as well, it's never a problem at Hallett Pontiac, because the whole idea is they want to sell you a vehicle. It's a 2003 Neil Rogers blowout sale. It's going on right now at Hallett Pontiac GMC, 13401 South Dixie Highway. That's good old US 1 across from the Falls. Open every day, 7 days a week. If you want more information on these spectacular, unbeatable Neil deals, call the Neil Deal hotline, toll free, 1-888-534-4211. That's 1-888-534-4211. Don't forget all Neil deals subject to credit approval. See our buddies at Hallett for details. Hallett Pontiac GMC. Once you buy a car there, once you go in there, you'll agree with me. They really are professional grade.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Philosophy. This is our philosophy. And I'm sure you will agree. People are funnier than anybody. Big Brian Norcross's claim to fame was hanging in the closet when Andrew came. Yes. But when we get a soft summer breeze, he gets so hyperventilated like that sex bitch sleaze. This is our philosophy. Oi! This is our philosophy. And I'm sure you will agree. People are funnier than anybody.
1246 at 560 WQM. Hysterical. He's the hysteria specialist at Channel 4, Brian Norcross. Guess what, Brian? Bad news for you. There is no chance, I mean zero, zippity-doo-dah, that Isabel is going to in any way impact South Florida. And even though a hurricane watch has been issued for 330 miles of the mid-Atlantic coast today, as thousands of residents are waiting hurricane to show up, Isabel weakened to a Category 2 storm with 105-mile-an-hour winds.
Ah, that's pussy.
Still going to be fun to try and land in on Friday.
Why are you so negative? You are so sour just because you're not getting paid and because you're going to be landing in the middle of a hurricane? You got to cheer up about these things. What are you laughing about? I sat here through 2 episodes. I lived here through 2 episodes of SARS, the blackout for 13 hours. You see what I'm saying?
Mad cow disease.
Mad cow disease, West Nile virus,
monkeypox,
some tainted meat. We had some real bad meat in the city here. I've seen some of it. It says a hurricane watch is issued for specific coastal areas that face a possible threat from a hurricane, generally within 36 hours. Ed Rappaport, sounds like a good Jewish boy, deputy director of the Hurricane Center, said Isabel will be one of the strongest storms seen in the landfall area in the last several decades. Uh-oh.
Oh, I feel a lot better now.
But by the time it gets here to Toronto, if it stays on that course, which they seem to everybody telling us that it is, it's going to be just a lot of wind and rain, a lot of hot air, like Brian Norcross. And what's wrong with a little bit of rain and wind, huh? It's exciting as long as, you know what I'm saying?
No.
As long as you got enough common sense to come in from the outside. Oh, I got this article about Vegas, which I hope I have time for, about Sin City returning. Remember how they went a few years ago to the family thing, and they wanted to change the image so that families would come and bring little kids? Guess what? Bad mistake. Turned off a lot of their regular patrons and a lot of people that would like to go there. Because when you go to Vegas, you want to go to a wild and woolly place, not a place where there are a bunch of punky little kids screaming and crying and carrying on.
We want filth and vice.
Right. So Sin City returns. That's the good news from ABC News. Okay, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. Who's the biggest nerd of them all? Bill Gates leading Carrot Top 104-70. After that, small potatoes. Woody Allen 33, Paul Schaefer 27, Rick Riley 25. George W. went on there late, but he's moving up 21. Adam Sandler 18. Brian Norcross 11. George Will 10. Everybody else single digits so far. Here's a call from Kendall. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Pretty good.
All right. I'd like to participate on your poll.
Go right ahead.
I'm kind of conflicted. I got two names, and maybe you can help me. Late night, Mr. Conan
O'Brien is a good
Bryan.
choice. I like that. He's a
All
nerd.
right. And what about Ashton Kutcher? Is he kind of a nerdy kid? He can't.
I don't
play
like
a straight
him. There's
role.
something very strange about him. There's something really weird. He has like a little girl's body.
Yeah, he's freaky. I got something.
Yeah, we'll put him on there. Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, for the kids. I got something I wanted to tell you. The Marlins have a deal. I know everybody's getting a little excited about the baseball.
Mm-hmm. They're jumping on the bandwagon.
For $50 a seat, you go plop some money on. You can put down for postseason tickets. Right now, if you just walk in, you make a little deposit, and they will. Yeah, sounds good, huh?
It sounds like a wiener to me.
Have a great day.
And
Neil.
I think they're going to make it too. I think they're going to do it.
I do too. I really do. Have a great day.
You too, pal. Thanks. How do you like that? Like I said, I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon. Oh, we love the Marlins. I'm not doing that. But like I also said, it's something positive, something exciting in a community where generally most of the crap that happens is crap. Is sour. Kind of like sour, like that first Dolphin game, that home opener they lost to a little girls team. Sour. Everybody was more sour than usual. How about Hank Sauer? He used to play right field for the Chicago Cubs. Canis Masmacho, Hank Sauer or Hank Bauer?
George Sauer.
Football. Wasn't George Sauer like the coach of the Bears?
Now it's George Hallis.
George Sauer. Yeah, George Hallis is pretty sour. Who the hell is George Sauer?
Receiver for the Jets.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Good, I feel better about that. See, if I knew all that sports trivia, I'd feel like really bad. Like maybe I've been working on this station too long, which is obviously true in the first place. But when you're around too many sports nerds, all you start thinking about morning, noon, night is happening to you is sports. Yeah. Oh, that was good.
Oh, man.
Woo! Boy, that's still reverberating all the way back up here. All the way over to goddamn Lake Ontario. They'll probably be hearing that in Rochester pretty soon at Vic and Irv's. I'm excited that we got Vic and Irv's on here. That's good. Nice job, Todd Dreck. He must have just answered a message. They certainly didn't call him direct.
They have a raffle.
I beg your pardon? That's where you get your Rochester White Hots, too, at Vic and Irv's. All the good Rochester stuff. The Emmis, the real Rochester stuff, not make-believe. Here's a lady. I can't believe we actually have a lady on the line from Coconut Creek. Hello.
Hi, Uncle Neil.
How you doing?
It's the Kishka Kid.
All right.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Haven't heard from you in a LaCoon's age.
Well, I've been recuperating, so I'm doing great now.
Good.
I have the ultimate nerd.
Okay.
You might recognize the name Screech,
Oh,
a.k.a. Dustin Diamond.
Uh-huh.
I think he is like the ultimate nerd.
Now, who do we want to call him? Just Screech?
Call him Screech, yeah. Everyone knows who Screech is from Saved by the Bell.
Absolutely.
I saw his comedy show. It was funny, but it's like, come on, he's Screech. He's a dork.
Right. Good choice.
Thank you.
Glad you're doing well. Thanks.
Good. Bye.
Bye-bye. Screech. Now, what about Welcome Back, Kotter? Who was the nerd on that show?
Horseshack.
Oh, yeah.
Ron
Yeah, but that's too old. That's ancient history. What about old nerds? Who's the biggest nerd of them all? Bill Gates. That was George's choice. 106 votes. I don't think they're going to catch old Billy.
No.
Although I guess if you're going to be a nerd and you have the kind of money he's got, you don't give a flying
right.
crap. You know? Call me whatever you want.
Asshole.
Bill Gates, 106. Yeah, he's an asshole. He's obnoxious, and his whole Microsoft
Evil.
thing, we hate them like fools and wish they would go away. Yeah. Carrot Top 72, Woody Allen 34. So it's strictly a two-house race. Is George W. moving up? Hey, Rick Riley's ahead of George W. Bush. Attaboy, Rick. They haven't forgotten, man. Of course, you're the one that always had a bug up your ass about him.
He put it there.
And see, now at least enough time has gone by. You admitted it. Now you're not denying
but
it
it's
anymore.
all past tense. We mended our fences. You're the one that won't admit that.
What do you mean I won't admit it?
Huh? Well, we had our problems and we got over it.
Yeah.
They ended as soon as I didn't have to work that show anymore.
As soon as you didn't have to talk to him anymore.
Right.
He's a tough how do I put it? Tough guy to like. You know what I mean? You won't believe this. I actually like Rick Riley.
I like Rick Riley. I like the Rick and Sud show when he's not talking stock market.
No, that's a different story.
Yeah.
We're talking about personal now. But I mean, I actually like Rick, but he's just, I don't know, there's something about him that he makes it difficult, as opposed to Suds, who's just like a teddy bear that everybody wants to love and hug and just a good guy. But Rick is just, I don't know.
He's his own worst enemy.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. He doesn't help himself.
Is that why you always refer to him as that asshole we used to work with? Here's Pompano. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've got your first email for the list.
Excellent.
Ricky Lake.
Yeah, Ricky Lake is a nerd. That's
Right,
more.
and-
A geekette.
Yeah, she's a geek. That's good.
Okay, and I got two guys for you.
Okay.
Brian Gumbo. Yeah, he's horrible.
He is horrible, but he's not a nerd. He doesn't fit in the nerd category. He's just obnoxious. He's what's the other one?
From Fox News, Neil Cavuto. He's this finance wizard he thinks he is, and
he's just an asshole.
Yeah, well, he's a nerd and an asshole.
Okay, thanks a lot, pal. Have a great day. Said he's a nerd and an asshole. I'm not putting him on. I'm putting Ricky Lake on there. We got to have one woman.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You got to have one woman?
And then another.
Well, now that we know all about, let's see, Wesley Clark is going to announce tomorrow he's running, and Hurricane is down to a Category 2, and it's coming up here right down Yonge Street all the way to Lake Ontario. Now, those are real. Oh, that's right, you can't see this.
You could describe them in great detail.
No, I can't describe those teeth. No.
What cup size would you guess?
About 48 triple D. I don't know. I'm not good at that. That's not my,
Not your bag?
Not my bag.
Those aren't your bags? Fun bags?
I can't believe that not every red-blooded heterosexual male in America subscribes to the Playboy channel. I bet you if Scott was getting paid any money, he'd subscribe to it.
Hard to have a TV when you live under an overpass.
Well, see, this is the way it is. George forgot to tell you, but the last guy who had that job that you're in right now, you inherited his spot under the overpass.
Hola.
So why the hell should you move up in a world when you can just live in the same on the same blanket that he used to live on?
Last time I saw him, he was living under this console.
Before his eyeballs popped out.
Barely living.
Wow. Well, listen, we had any update on him?
No.
Good, I don't want to hear about it. And to think that I actually rewarded him for the work he was doing on the internet, I'm a moron, I'm a schmuck. I have got to be the easiest person. I've got to be an imbecile.
No, I am.
What do you mean by that? Oh, that's right. You're responsible for schlepping him in there, for foisting him on us.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one.
Yeah, it is.
If we gave you $1 million to tell us the truth.
I told you, for free.
12:57 at 560 WQM. If you want to see the best in horse race simulcasting, then head over to Pompano Park Harness Track. Wasn't that something Fat Rich called yesterday? That was really amazing to have us wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Rich.
Keep losing that weight, Rich. He's lost 600 pounds just since that phone call yesterday. Pompano Park is open every day at 7 nights and days a week, featuring the best in harness, thoroughbred, and highlight action, too, from across North America for you to watch and wager on. And don't forget, at Pompano Park, general parking and admission are always free. You can enjoy plenty of free seating and hundreds of TVs to view your favorite track from, or you can get a private box seat with your own TV monitor for just $2. And it's all done in a smoke-free environment. Come watch and wager this Thursday, September 18, on the $600,000 Little Brown Jug from Delaware, Ohio. You can't beat those jugs with a special post time of 11 a.m. And you know what? I can watch it right here on the air. Mark that down. Don't let me forget, because I got the racing channel here.
Okay.
This Thursday at 11 a.m., and you can watch it and plunge on it at Pompano Park. This Saturday, it's the $700,000 Canadian Trotting Classic at Mohawk Raceway right here in Toronto, Canada, eh? And don't forget, racing fans, Pompano Park will be back in action with the start of their 40th anniversary season of harness racing beginning Friday, October 10th. It's just a matter of a couple of weeks away. Pompano Park, a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. Call 954-972-2000 for the daily simulcast schedule, or go on the web at pompanopark.com. And don't forget, Elmer Conrad is God.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
The 1 to 2 hour.
are totally in control with lies and misinformation.
Yes.
They don't want you to know about the globalist assholes bankrupting the whole damn nation. The economy took a crap, getting slaughtered in Iraq by the first dictator traders. For the few that want to know, there's only one way to go. You gotta read 10 newspapers, but nobody cares about nothing. There's nobody. They just want to be in front of their TV, thinking what happens to them ain't gonna be happening to me. Nobody cares about nothing.
No.
Only after it's too late. Yeah, then they say, what did you say? When they were never gonna believe ya anyway. Don't bother me with too much information. I don't wanna read it. I don't wanna believe it. Don't confuse me with the facts. I'm getting it fair and balanced, say the mentally challenged. Believe all this spew and Fox News, they don't lie. Nobody cares about everything's just fine. So what, a few people died? I can't be concerned with that. I'm busy picking seeds out my ass. Now don't say I didn't warn you. Just take a look at California. And you thought Florida was some, oh yeah.
103 at 560 WQM. Biggest nerd, says the faxer. Todd Tungan at Channel 10. I would agree with that. Todd loves this show, by the way.
Good.
And our poll question for tomorrow. Who is Todd Tungan, and does Don know?
Is he the one that does that 10 taxi embarrassing thing?
He does all those silly featurettes, whatever. He's a silly person. He's Channel 10's professional silly person. Todd Tungan, you don't know who that is?
If he does the 10 taxi thing, then I know who it is.
He's a silly person.
Yeah.
By the way, Eric is doing it, baby, right on our website. Take a look at that. Look at the quality of that It's not a cartoon. It's whatever you would call it. It is a cartoon.
It's a thing. It's a picture.
Yeah. Look at the quality of that. George W., historically correct action figure, AWOL photo. Well, actually, that doesn't say photo. What does that say underneath?
What?
AWOL something. What does that say? LUTO. What are the first... I can't make out what the first part... Huh? On the videotape, it says AWOL something underneath it. He's got this... He's holding that bottle.
AWOL Bluto.
Bluto?
Bluto.
Tijuana 72, he's got the Mexican hat on, the AWOL, the outfit, and he's got the bottle of tequila or whatever in his hand. It's a beautiful thing. That's W, baby, and it's right on time. Oh, and there's a couple of bottles down by his sneakers, too. He sneaked them in. Right on top of Yoda. Nice going, Eric. Thank you. What?
Those are the empties.
5670560. El Presidente. He got religion, baby. He put away the booze. He put away the powder. Here's a call from Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How you doing today?
Pretty good, sir.
How about skanky nerds, female? Like Ann Coulter, Nancy Grace.
What do you think, George?
Okay.
Skanks.
Okay.
Definitely Nancy.
Nancy Grace.
I'll agree with
she
that.
makes me want to puke. Huh? If she's got to be on there, Ann Coulter's got to be on there, too.
Ann Coulter's got to be on there.
Absolutely. Okay,
and
thank you, sir.
Knocking on the door there.
Have a great day.
You too, thanks.
What do you say?
Huh?
5670560, pound 560 on the AT. What we have here is a failure. Yeah, we'll get some women on there just for equal time. I don't think they're going to do all that great, because there are other words I would have, for some of these people. Especially like for Ann Coulter,
Isn't
like...
she more evil?
Bitch.
That would be more like it. I beg your pardon?
Isn't she more evil than
he's
nerd?
interrupting again. That means he's definitely not getting on the payroll for at least 2 more weeks. No, we've already done those evildoer things, okay? I realize maybe you weren't sitting in that seat at the time. We've done those evildoer things. We're way ahead of you. We're like light years ahead of you. In fact, we're almost to the bank. Now, when you get to the bank, you got to have a check to cash. So I would stop in your tracks right now and turn back and see if there's one waiting for you in your AT&T and Verizon line. Who is the biggest nerd of them all? Got a pretty heavy-duty list here. Here's Miami. Hello.
What's up, Neil?
How you doing, sir?
Actually, even though it's kind of late, I do have 3 nerds for 3 different categories. I got a Hollywood nerd, a media nerd, and a sports nerd.
Yeah.
My Hollywood nerd has got to go to Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
My media nerd is Tucker Carlson from CNN, the
Right.
bullseye guy. And sports nerd has got to be Greg Maddux from
Yeah,
the
well,
Atlanta Braves, the pitcher.
With the silly glasses, yeah.
Yeah, he's whenever you think nerds in sports, he's got to be the number
Plus,
one
somebody
guy.
forgot to tell Greg that he lost it a couple of years ago. Somebody please call him and tell him.
He doesn't wear glasses anymore.
Thanks a lot,
Well,
pal.
he wears them. He just wears contacts on the field.
Yeah, right. On the field you don't see him, but he wears them in real nerdy glasses too, like old-fashioned silly. Thanks a lot.
All right.
See ya. Now, Scott, I hate to break the news to you, but yeah, he does wear the contacts when he's pitching.
Right.
But he doesn't wear them like you'll see him in the dugout on like games when he's just in the dugout not pitching on that day.
Yeah,
he's got those silly, goofy glasses.
Yeah, he used to wear
Greg
them when he
Maddux
pitched.
is a good choice. Okay, don't be knocking this guy just because he happens to be a little dark complected. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Greg, I hate to break the news to you. I loved you when you were with the Cubs back in those glory days, but you lost it. You couldn't get Pharrell out.
Out of what?
Out of that seat. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
With a Keith Olbermann and Al Rogers.
Wow.
I like Keith Olbermann on there. Al Rogers is an inside thing, which he's absolutely right there. That's a nerd. That's a real stalking nerd.
Keith Olbermann?
Olbermann. Olberman. Keith Olbermann. That's the one I keep screaming about. I never get any response on it, but everybody knows who I'm talking about because it's a sports nerd station. He's been on every one of he was on MSNBC. Then he was on Fox. He was on ESPN. Now he's back on Fox again with his .1 share. This man thinks that when he speaks in his deep stentorian tones, he reminds me of somebody we got on our station.
Absolutely.
Who thinks that when he speaks with that stentorian voice, that the world is hanging on every word, and instead of word, it's more like, you turd. I mean, nobody cares. Keith Olbermann, an ego the size of Texas, the size of Uranus. Can't stand that son of a bitch. Man, talk about a self-important, self-absorbed. He reminds me a little bit of a sportsy, although now he's newsy. You know, he's a comedian. He's whatever they want him to be. Reminds me of Charles Grodin. Only even more serious and more humorless and more deadpan and more like, oh, God. Who the hell are you kidding, Keith, okay? You can't keep a job longer than 5 minutes, you jackass. And I'll guarantee you that the sports nerds, including some of our friends on our radio station, probably think he's just the cat's meow because he's a sports nerd. You know, he's one of them, that fraternity, that homo. That homo thing. Here's a call from Davey. Hello.
Yeah, Neil. I think one would be Macaulay Culkin.
Good choice.
And how about Ray Perry? Gotta go to work. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay. Oh, we're getting some inside names on here. We like Ray, but Ray is definitely a nerd.
Here's another one on 7, inside.
I beg your pardon?
Take the inside call on 7.
Another inside call?
Inside person.
I see. Lady in West Palm, hello.
Neil,
Yes, ma'am.
has anybody mentioned the bird? As
The bird?
biggest nerd of all time.
The bird is dead.
He is?
Yeah,
Oh, that's so sad.
I know.
That makes me feel really bad. Well, can I,
Yeah, I can tell.
can I slip something in on the gay poll even though, it's
Sure,
not
go
yet?
ahead. We'll
Because I'm gonna be out
keep
of
it in
town.
mind. Go ahead.
That guy, Bill Kamali calls himself.
Yeah.
I saw him in, the Publix at the beach and he was wearing like a Speedo,
Mm-hmm.
skin tight Speedo with a muscle shirt. So he's got to get on the top of the list for me.
She makes a big splash wherever she goes, believe me. Thanks a lot, sweetheart.
Okay.
Have a great day. Miss Kamal. Although, is Miss Kamal pretending to be anything other than Weather Fairy Jr.? I don't know. I don't know. I think she's well known. It's 11 past 1 at 560 WQAM. Ask some of our people in the programming. They'll probably tell you. Hey, if you're underpaid, overworked, or underappreciated, how would you like to have a new high-paying career before year's end, Scott? Pick up the phone and call Fast Train. Something for you to think about, something to keep in mind instead of getting jerked around in this radio business. Maybe actually have some skills and make a real paycheck.
Say the number slowly, please.
In which, in your case, any paycheck would be better than what you're making now. Call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. They can have you trained and certified before year's end. In fact, you ought to be certified like insane if you're continuing to work for QM for free. The demand for computer professionals continues to grow. There's no better time than right now to get you a new high-paying career. Fast Train offers job placement assistance, convenient day, evening, and weekend schedules with 6 Florida locations, including a couple in Tampa, by the way, Scott, and 4 in South Florida. There's bound to be one nearby you or wherever you're going to be living. Fast Train offers financial assistance to people who qualify. So call Fast Train today. Get out of your dead-end job. Quit working for free or next to it. Call 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. No excuses, no mo. Working for peanuts. Check them out on the web at fasttrain.com and then call them toll-free like Scott's going to do momentarily at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
President of the United States, Al Gore, I have recently poked my head out of the shadows of oblivion to take pot shots at the president. I have reappeared, much like Puxatawny Phil, the groundhog creature that reappears each year to determine whether or not we'll have an early spring. I wish it to be known that it was I who was responsible for saving the lives of those 9 miners in Pennsylvania over the weekend. I had asked the media to keep my name out of it as not to appear a spotlight hog. However, I feel the American people have a right to know the truth. Here's what happened. Upon hearing of this unfortunate accident, I raced to the scene. I lowered myself into the mine using an old Ron Popeil pocket fisherman and some bailing wire. Down, 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 into the depths of darkness I sank, never thinking of my own safety, but rather of the safety of those men on the ground. When I reached the miners, they said to me, "Hey, you're the guy that invented the Internet, right?" I said yes. We all had a Mike's Hard Lemonade, which I brought with me down into the hole, and then we sat around and reenacted the fart scene from Blazing Saddles. I thought you should know the truth. And now, much like the groundhog creature Puxatawny Phil, I'll sink back into the darkness of oblivion until I am needed again. This is Al Gore, superhero.
454 votes. How could we have left off Al Gore?
Right.
So we thank, whose fax is that on? Oh, Keith and Boca, thank you, which he's got a bunch of. Who's Crispin Glover? Who is that?
Actor, geek. He was in Charlie's Angels most recently. Birdie. I don't know if you've ever seen him in anything.
No. Should we put him on there?
Sure.
Crispin Glover, get him on there. Why not? Just to give Eric more work to do. Poor Eric. But at any rate, nice job on that picture, Eric. Excellent. Everybody check that out. AWOL Bush. Who's the biggest nerd of them all? Bill Gates, 116. Carrot Top, 73. Woody Allen, 42. Paul Schaefer, 31. He has a wife, you know. God, if there's anybody that just, he floats like a butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Big ladies man, they say.
Yeah.
George W., 29. Rick Riley, 29. Tied with the president. And I bet you I know who Rick Riley voted for, and it wasn't Pat Buchanan this time. Adam Sandler, 18. Brian Norcross, 14. Ben Stein, 13. George Will, 12. Mike Lupica, 10. Joe Zagacki, 9. Joe, look at that. Jay Fiedler's right on your ass, Joe. Jay Fiedler, Sean Hannity, Ross Perot each have 8. Screech has got 6. Bob Costas, 5. Tom Hanks, 5. Rick Moranis has got 3. Isn't that what almost everybody wants, more anus?
Sure. Depending.
Why not?
I don't care for licorice myself. Weird Al Yankovic, 2. Tucker Carlson's only got a pair. George Stepp on top of us, 2. Clay Aiken, 2. Chris Collinsworth, 1. Only 1 for Ricky Williams, Sam Donaldson, Dennis Kucinich, Matthew Lesko. I have no idea. I guess I do. I just don't ever stop and watch that with the question marks.
You're lucky.
Who's the character in Batman with the Riddler?
Yes.
With the question marks. Excuse me. Tim Burton, 1. Jason Biggs, 1. And no votes. This should really break your heart. No votes for David Spade. Or
that
Martin Short. Or Conan O'Brien. Or Ashton Kutcher. Or Ricky Lake. Or Richard Dreyfuss. Or Todd Tungan. And now the damn thing hopped back up on top again. Or, did I say Martin Short?
I don't know.
Ann Coulter, Nancy Grace, Greg Maddox, or Keith Olbermann don't have any out of 459. Todd Tungan must have just got 1. He must have he just got 1. Probably Dwight Lauderdale voted. Hey, Dwight, we're delighted that you listened to the highly rated Neil Rogers show, and don't worry about that eating ass thing. Everybody in town loved it. Biggest female nerd of all time, speaking of Channel 10, Janet Reno. I think she deserves to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
The nerd lady. She's at least as butch as Ricky Lake ever dreamed of being. And anyway, this fax from Keith and Boki, he got a whole list of people. besides Crispin Glover. Matthew Broderick, he's a little nerdy, but I don't know. He's old news. Drew Carey. I would just describe Drew Carey as fat and untalented, but nevertheless, Drew Carey, you can put him on there. He's nerdy with the silly glasses, the whole deal. Jerry Lewis. Now, picking on Jerry with his head blown up like a bullfrog sounds really enjoyable to me. I mean, like in bad taste. Jerry Lewis. I wouldn't think of Jerry Lewis as just annoying.
Right.
At this point, wouldn't you?
Right.
And one thing about that telethon, if you watch enough of it,
It'll make you shit.
Right. And Regis Philbin, is he nerdy?
Just regular.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Regis. Don't be picking on Regis. Especially with that hot show he's got with, what's her name? And by the way, I like her a lot now, whatever her name is.
Kelly Ripa?
Kelly's Ripa, even though she isn't as, she's pretty more
I don't
mediocre.
like her as much as I used to.
She, appeared at a fundraiser for, who was it? Howard Dean or some Democratic fundraiser.
Oh, it's big, Neil. It's bigger than both of us.
So we gotta like Kelly a lot.
She has an Audi.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Regis has an innie, so it must work out pretty well. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Nerds. Here's a call from Okeechobee, where they have a lot of nerds. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, just wonderful. I can't believe you don't have Alex Pinellas on that poll.
Yeah, he's a little nerd. He's perfect.
I would think so. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's on it now. And have a great day. Well, he just kind of vanished off into the wilderness of Okeechobee, which could be anywhere. I'll tell you, that'd be a good poll. Which is the most Neanderthal, Okeechobee, Pahokee, or Temple Terrace? Or Lutz? Okahumpka, 2-egg. Well, what a Yahoo, man. I'll tell you, once you get south of, like, what, Pennsylvania? No, see, I mean, you look at the map and you think, well, Pennsylvania, that's way the hell up north. Well, you're right.
Yeah.
But most of America is like the deep south.
Yeah.
It really is. Take a look at the map. Now, I'm just out of my memory. Like, what's under Pennsylvania is like Virginia?
Right.
Right. And West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And the Carolinas. Exactly. There's the north and the northeast and some of the upper Midwest, and then there's like the West Coast, Washington, Oregon, and California. And then other than that,
those are the cowboy states anyway.
Other than that, you got like a Yahoo. America's a Yahoo place, and you wonder why George W. Was able to fix the election, make it that close. I don't wonder. It's a Yahoo place. You got your Utah and Wyoming and Nevada. Although Nevada's got enough wild. Oh, that reminds me. Sin City returns. See how this all fits together sooner or later?
Nice segue.
I fell into another bucket of crap. Can you smell it? In the backseat of a limousine, a sultry woman is breathing heavily as she runs her finger through her chauffeur's hair. Oh, I probably could find some sound effects for that. Wait a minute.
Careful.
If you could see what I'm looking at.
What?
Pull on my hair.
Yeah.
Spank me.
Smack my.
Start to rub my pussy.
Alrighty then. How about that? How about that? Hello, sports fans.
Well, that's what she was doing.
She was a good sport, all right.
Licorice before?
About time.
Anyway, she's breathing heavily as she runs her finger through the chauffeur's hair and rubs her arm against the... That's how one of the new commercials for Vegas begins. It's part of a $25 million marketing campaign the city is kicking off under the slogan, "What happens here stays here." The commercials are about freedom and expressing yourself, according to Bill Vaseline, whose company R&R Partners created the ads. They're about releasing your own inhibitions and creating your own fantasies. Like the one that I got on there, I'm watching right now, and George and Scott only wish they were watching. The ads depict a Vegas that's an adults-only destination, and one with an X rating that city fish their own bounds, something no place else does. Is sex an element of that? Of course, Vasilady said. The idea of transforming Vegas into kind of an erotic fantasy land comes at a time when gambling revenues are down. A lot of people want to go down, but the revenues are down because they aren't doing it in Vegas like they used to. Research by the University of Nevada has found the amount of time the average tourist spends at the casino tables has dropped significantly in recent years. That means tourists are spending their money someplace else. In 1998, there were just 5 strip clubs on the outskirts of Vegas. Today, there are 20, all located within a few miles of the major hotels.
All right.
You have to remember that strip clubs used to be a place where people used to go around some red light district in town, hide from everybody else, said Dolores Eliades of the Sapphire Gentlemen's Club. Now they walk in the front door, sometimes with their wives, oftentimes with their girlfriends, and enjoy dancing and humping and whatever else. Since state regulations prohibit stripping in casinos, casinos have found another way to compete. Virtually every casino now is open at least one trendy nightclub and bar, and the traditional Vegas review is in many cases topless, and in some cases blatantly erotic.
Nikki Taylor.
Oh.
What?
Huh? The fierce fight for tourism dollars is starting to unnerve some of those who actually live in Vegas, although they've long been accustomed to looking the other way. Local officials even held a public hearing to debate the legality of lap dancing, during which Metro Police played surveillance tapes showing women performing sexual acts during a lap dance.
Oh, my God.
In a surprise move, local officials enacted a law to restrict contact between customers and dancers. How boring. How boring. You know, you want your community to be a reflection of who you are, and I don't think that these ad campaigns or that all that sex is a reflection of what this community has said. Lisa Holda Mayo, a Vegas resident for 16 years. I wonder if she's kin to Mike Holda Mayo. Mayo, 3 of whose 5 children were born in Vegas, said she never had a problem with the image and reality of the Vegas Strip until now. They have these mobile billboards that drive around town. That's where I draw the line. She said, I say, you know what? Stay with the tourists. Keep it with the tourists. These mobile billboards show topless women.
All right.
Shame, shame. Mayo said she once saw one of the mobile billboards parked next to a church. When you start encroaching between my church or a church and my post orifice, that's when you've crossed the line. In fact, the marketing of Vegas strip clubs rather than the strip clubs themselves appears to be the bigger issue with Mayo. The clubs, I think if you live here, you have to accept that's part of what they sell. So it says Las Vegas really is 2 cities. One is the Strip, the other is a booming conservative community of nearly 2 million people. So there you go. It's that old American conflict again between the living and breathing people who want to have a good time and be left alone doing it, and the holy rolling assholes who want to tell everybody how to live and what they'll do and up yours.
Get a life.
Real American assholes. We salute you, Mr. Dance by Yourself guy.
Dance by yourself, guy.
You think she's dancing with you. Then she rubs another man's crotch.
Got a stiffy.
Most men would leave the floor with their heads hung low, but not you. You feel the rhythm in your soul and the peach schnapps coursing through your veins.
King of the dance floor.
Sure, people are looking at you, judging you, wishing you were dead. But you don't care. You just do a spin move and party on.
Watch him get down, watch him get down.
Finally, you make your move, only to find out that her boyfriend did time and enjoyed it.
Ow!
So we salute you, Mr. Dance by Yourself guy, your broken jaw, your ambulance driver, and your parachute pants. You are a real American asshole.
All right.
132, that's asshole he's trying to say there. We got about 500 votes on the poll, not too shabby, considering we had start us and stop us, interrupt us. Yeah. 497 votes to be exact. Here's the double-digit ones. The biggest nerd of all time, Bill Gates, 123. He's got it. Carrot Top, 74. Woody Allen, 45. George W. Bush, 32. Paul Schaefer, 31. Rick Riley, 29. Adam Sandler, 19. Brian Norcross, 17. Ben Stein, 14. What an asshole that guy is, you know it?
Yeah.
The wrong people have the money. There's 2 guys, Ben Stein and Bill Gates, tons of money, real major assholes. George Will, another one, 12. Dustin Diamond, a.k.a. Screech, has got 11, as does Mike Lupica. Ross Perot, 10, and Joe Zagacki.
Joe Zagacki sucks, okay?
Okay. Also has 10, double digits for the old penis face. Seriously, those promos that we're playing of him calling that touchdown are so... I don't think there's a high school station in America that would play those on air. They'd be so embarrassed. I don't think even WVUM at the University of Miami would be playing that because they'd be so embarrassed. It's just so out of control, so juvenile. Here's a call from Kendall. Hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
how about Gary Sauner?
Oh, that's an excellent choice. Jackpot.
There you go.
Thank you. There's somebody who knows that asshole in our sales department. Now, we're not going to put him on there because nobody knows who that is, but boy, what a good choice. In fact, Gary Sarner, I've been telling you this last couple of years, he's got an identical twin look-alike in Amsterdam, and they're both nerds. You'd be amazed. You'd be shocked. He looks exactly like him, a little bit younger version, and the same mindless kind of appearance, and a nerd. Real asshole. What?
Take his picture.
Yeah, I'm going to go running around Amsterdam starting to take pictures of people, right. They already got enough perverts here. They don't need somebody to sneak in pictures. Believe me, if I'm going to be taking pictures of anybody in Amsterdam, it ain't going to be him. Saudi Arabia beheads marijuana smuggler.
All right.
There we go. Our good friends, the Saudis. A Saudi drug trafficker was beheaded Sunday, a Ministry of Interior statement said. Dahir bin Thamar al-Shimri was convicted of smuggling marijuana into the kingdom, the statement said. That'll teach him. I guess he won't be doing that no more. Never again. That's a good way to make sure.
No more, no more, no more, no more.
Al-Shimri was beheaded in the eastern province of Hafar al-Batin, bringing the number of beheadings in the kingdom this year to 41. Most of them drug traffickers. At least 49 people were beheaded last year. And they won't be doing it.
No more, no more, no more, no more.
This conservative country of Saudi Arabia follows a strict interpretation of Islam under which people convicted of drug trafficking, murder, rape, and armed robbery are executed. Beheadings are carried out with a sword in public. So I guess unlike that bit that we played, they're not stoning them to death in public.
Mm-mm.
So I guess this guy didn't get stoned twice like that kid in 2 nights. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I think we go in there, see if it's me. I go in there, we take over Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
No sweat.
No.
Take over the oil fields, put all them laundry heads out where they belong in the pastures, let them pick cotton or whatever they have in the oil, in the sand.
Poppies.
Pick the poppies, right. They'll all be yelling, I poppy, by the time I get through with them. And put all this bull crap to rest. Stop the baloney. Let's see, Friday now, look at this.
The rain will linger a little, but by the middle of the day, rather, the conditions will be clearing up. We're at 18 degrees, and for the rest of the weekend and into next week, we'll have sunny skies.
Radio Trinidad.
And a cool 18 to 19 degrees then. That is the 5-day forecast. Let's take it back into the newsroom.
What are you knocking our ethnic diversity here in Toronto, man?
Not at all.
Playboy Channel?
City Pulse 24. I'm not a... What do you mean the Playboy Channel? What do you think? This is some kind of a goddamn X-rated radio show?
Yes.
There's the Playboy Channel.
Sweet.
Pontosan azért kezdtem el ezt a munkát, mert nagyon régóta.
Oh, I don't know what she's saying.
Speaking Saudi.
Alone, I didn't have a boyfriend.
Okay, great. Look at that thing. It looks like she must have hung out in the produce department, a gigantic banana. She's just about getting ready to peel it. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Come on, let's bring this program back to the nice family atmosphere that we enjoy here on QAM after 8 o'clock in the morning.
Manson family?
The Marilyn Manson family. Or the Charles. Here's a call from Hallandale. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
What about that? I'm trying to think of the guy's name. He wears his pants almost up to his neck. Urkel? A little black Schwarzer Urkel?
Urkel?
Yeah.
Urkel.
Yeah,
I mean,
Urkel.
he's the biggest nerd of all time with the glasses.
He's a character, though.
He's a character, but I don't know the guy's name in real life. But, I mean, Urkel.
Say
Urkel
it again.
the Jerkel.
Oh. I think he was trying to say Urkel, wasn't he?
Yeah, Urkel?
Just relax.
Urkel.
He was just worked up about Urkel. Urkel. You want to see how many times you could say it. How many times did you say it?
About 30, man.
Good work, pal. Let's see. Here's one that says Tucker. Tucker faxes says, squeaky voice, adolescent viewpoints, hero worship of ball players. How about Steve Goldstein? Oh, that's a good one. We should have had him on there earlier. Steve Goldstein. That's perfect as the quintessential nerd. And you know something?
What?
I don't even know if Tucker, who sent this fax, has ever seen Geldy, but man, if he doesn't look like the definitive nerd, doesn't he? I mean, I hate to say it? No, I'm glad to say it. He's a nerd. He sounds like a nerd. He looks like a nerd. And then, of course, he's got to work with Howard, the nerd.
Howard?
So I think that Geldy
absolutely
is certainly ought to be on there. Don't forget it. Get it on there before the end of the show. You watch how fast Geldy just rises up to the top. Only reason he got hired is because he had a big penis and Joe Rose was impressed. And then when our programming people saw it, wow, especially that Andrew Assenwoods, that was his only recommendation for the job.
Is that a fact?
That is a fact. See, and I just screwed this thing up. But I was going to say
he's got a big heart on.
But it's a good thing I noticed that there too. See, I just fell into another bucket of crap. I keep falling into them all day long. Who's the biggest nerd of them all is our poll question today. Now, don't forget, tomorrow we're going to start that series of polls about dead people just to piss off Mo.
Absolutely.
That's right, just because it makes him so apoplectic. And good timing, too, because the following day is the day the trends come out. And I'll guarantee you, Mo, ours is going to be much bigger than yours and the poll number 2, the rating. Going to be much, much bigger. And whatever you got, divided by about 6, and then you'll have your number because most of it is Pharrell. There's no doubt about that. Bill Gates, 124. Carrot Top, 74. Woody Allen, 45. George W., 32. Powell Schaefer, 31. Rick Riley and 29. Adam Sandler, 19. I guess it ain't changed all that much. 20 till 2, we got the Mad Dog coming along at 2 o'clock. The hysterical hound who yesterday, boy, I sure hope we get that tape, you know. That would be phenomenal.
It's a done deal.
It is?
Yeah.
We're going to have it for tomorrow?
Yes.
I'm taking care of it.
All right. That's going to be sensational when a Mad Dog loses it and goes ballistic about the 9-minute breaks that they have to endure on his show, and about the worst team having to endure that, which is why the reason that they didn't get the big numbers, and about the fact that the morning show we got now in those early hours really blows. Is there any question about it?
Absolutely.
Not. No question about this either, that VIPSportsbook.com is the outfit you ought to be plunging your guts with, because they're the people you can trust. They've been around a long time. Not some Johnny-come-latelys who are trying to jump on the bandwagon, reaching into your pocket, getting your plunging money. 99% of those other bookies you hear about on this radio station are located in the jungles of Costa Rica or Guatemala or Nicaragua or one of those 18th world countries.
Nicaragua.
This year, move up in class to VIPSportsbook.com, the oldest and largest sportsbook in a country that we love, Holland, Netherlands, where they have those wooden shoes. 100% legal and licensed, too. Listen to me and call VIPSportsbook.com right now, 1-866-VIP-BETS, because they're South Florida's best, most dependable, reliable, etc. Sign up right now. You can bet all the South Florida football and basketball teams juice-free all year long. You want to bet on the Dolphins? Good luck to you. It's 100 to win 100. You want to bet the Hurricanes? It's 100 to win 100. So forget about that vigorish. All signups get 20% cash bonus, not some silly, stupid-ass, funny money match play bonus. You get the real thing, a 20% cash bonus. VIPSportsbook.com, that's where you find them online, or call them toll-free at 1-866-VIP-BETS. That phone number again, it's 1-866-VIP-BETS. Be sure and tell them you heard about it here on most prestigious sports-obsessive QAM. VIPSportsbook.com, where you always are the VIP.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
God?
Yes.
What's a nice kid like you playing with the president's? Now it's a nice kid like you playing with the president's. With designer pants and a visit dress, that old Ken Star can't get you to confess. What's a nice kid like you?
Yeah.
Playing with the president's. Now it's a nice kid like you, holding it between your lips. What's a nice kid like you? Time between his hips. You're not bright enough to hold down a job. What you do best is go down on Willie's knob. What's a nice kid like you? All right. Playing with the president. Oh, yeah. Now you can make $1 million thanks to Bill's bad taste. The movies and books would be the frosting on your face. What's a nice kid like you?
Oh, my God.
Playing with the president. On your knees. Playing with the president. Golden jeans. Playing with the president. You better split.
So you said that the second break in at the spot in last break is gone. Is that what you said? Just checking. Yeah, we don't have to be bashful. We do it right openly on the air.
Is this a good time to remind you that doing that during a bit cuts the bit off?
Well, that's his fault. That's Scott's fault for talking to me while I'm playing a bit.
I told him not to talk to you during a bit.
Asshole. So in other words, it cuts in a bit. I forgot all about that. And it also puts me on the air when I do that, I guess, huh? Huh?
What?
Huh? 5670560 pound 5. What we have here is a failure to respond. Get with it. Here's the way the poll is shaping up so far. Let's go. It's refreshing. It's rehashing. It's thinking about. Why is it sitting there stuck there like that? Oh, here we go. Who's the biggest nerd of them all? Bill Gates, 125. Carrot Top, 74. Woody Allen, 46. George W, 34. Paul Schaefer, 31. Everybody else under 30. Okay, under.
About 30, man.
Here's a call from Jupiter. Hello. Jupiter.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Neil?
Yes, sir. Okay.
How about John Tesh?
Oh, excellent choice. Magnificent.
John Tesh, he thinks he's cool when he plays his piano, but he looks like young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And Barry Manilow you could use, too.
Barry Manilow's excellent, too. Very good choices. Thanks a lot.
You're great, Neil.
Thank you, and have a great day. Barry Manilow and John Tesh. How could we have left that duo of fruitcakes off, huh? Of course, John's got religion. You do understand that, John Tesh. And takes himself very, very seriously. See, one of the things that bugs me about people in, any field, like in the entertainment business, or in the news business, people who take themselves a little bit too seriously, like Keith Olbermann, like John Tesh, like Neil Diamond. See, Neil Diamond really believes he's a singer. I know that comes as a phenomenal shock to most of us, but he really believes that. He did?
Well, those ballads, those olden days ballads. He had a good
Such
voice.
as
Cracklin'
Rosie.
Right. Crack Smoking Rosie.
Song Sung Blue. Oh, come on. Neil Diamond's a nerd. In fact, he probably ought to be on the list. He probably ought to be on here. He's a freaking nerd. Oh, you know who he left off of here? Oh, my God, I got it. Wayne Newton. Leave it to me. Leave it to my nimble mind, even at this advanced age of senility of mine. Wayne Newton. Do you have any idea how fast he's going to shoot up that pole? Skyrocket. You'll see. Here's a call from Hialeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how's it doing?
Great.
How about, Condoleezza, huh? I mean, she masturbates to Star Trek on TV.
567-0560. Pound 560. She said it's out of this world.
Oh!
That was good. Good job, Pally. By the way, I'll see you at Westland while you're drilling the glory holes. Oh, absolutely. This guy does the limbo rock under the stalls at Westland so we can drill the glory holes. Here's a call from Palm City. Hello. Palm City.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I didn't have a contribution to your poll, but I wanted to make a comment about the story you talked about briefly, where the lady didn't want the stripping and the whatevering around
in
her
Vegas,
church.
right? Uh-huh.
How about let's not put her church around things that we don't want it around?
Right, like our
There's
homes.
A lot of molesters and all the other things that we've learned about the
Right,
church. When are we
exactly.
going to start saying we don't want a church here?
Yeah, why can't they have like their own separate zone where they put all the religious nuts? You know, remember they used to have the combat zones back in the 70s and early 80s. Used to have all the X-rated joints. Well, why can't we have like a religion zone
Right.
for all the?
I vote for that.
I'm with you. You got my vote. Thanks, Pally. Good idea. That's a good idea. The God Squad, the Jesus Christers, the Oya Cloggers, put them all out there. Okay, the Schmata heads. And if you're really enterprising, you can open up a place and sell some really nifty headgear right like down the street from that. Right?
Absolutely.
And you can also do like they do in Nashville. On every street corner, there's a church, and right across the street, there's a bar. I'm not sure which comes first, you know? Like Arnold said, pumping it is better than coming. What is
Pumping
it?
what?
Iron.
Oh. Pumping meat.
See, I like the segments that are guaranteed you can't, because there's no dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Oh, like I said, but when you least expect it, they start and you never know when that first bleep is going to come. 151 at 560 WQAM. Hey, let me tell you, no more barbecues, no more vacations. Summertime is over. We're back to reality. In fact, in a couple of days, it's going to be the fall already. Kids are back in school. If you gained a lot of weight with those summer barbecues and just schmoozing around on vacation, here's the deal. Hop on Balance for Life right away and lose that weight and a lot more, too. Because Balance for Life is just about guaranteed. You can't miss if you stick with the program. And you probably will because there's plenty of food in your little black sack every day to keep you satisfied all day long. Unless you're a real pig. I don't want to mention no names. 3 gourmet meals, 2 delicious snacks. You got 5 feedings in there every day in your black sack. They deliver it right to your door by 6 a.m. and takes care of you for the whole day. You won't be hungry on this program, believe you me. Because, like I said, everything is fresh, delicious, made with the finest ingredients that money can buy. And you get to choose. It's the only company that lets you choose between 2 alternatives for each meal and snack every day that you're on the program. And you'll love the food. Trust me when I tell you. So if you want to see the weight start pouring off on the scale within just a matter of days, if you're tired of being overweight, out of shape, lethargic, dying over there, maybe diabetic or getting close to it, here's the answer you've been searching for. Balance for Life. No calorie counting, no carb counting, not even any cooking or shopping because they do all that for you. Call Balance for Life today and start losing it right away. Call 954-568-3229. 954-568-3229. Or check them out on that wicked World Wide Web at balanceforlife.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
America loves to watch boobs and butts and boinking.
Yes!
Are your kids tired of the same old action figures?
Frankly, yes.
Then spice up their holidays with Mattel's Troubled Celebrity Action Figures. Steal your kid's heart this Christmas with Shoplifting Winona. She's more affordable than you think.
Look, Mommy, she's cutting off Blue's hair.
You bet she is. And there's more. Forget G.I. Joe. Now there's DUI Nick with lifelike Nick Nolte drool.
Oh.
And he smells funny, too.
Uh-huh. Now press his greasy head, and he talks funny, too.
Oh, anybody got a roofie?
Be sure to collect all of Mattel's troubled celebrity action figures, like Whitney Houston or Pierce Me Christina Aguilera. See if you can find all 12 of her self-mutilations.
Wow, she's anatomically correct.
This Christmas, shopping is no trouble at all with the troubled celebrity action figures from Mattel. Celebrity Public Relations Dream Team sold separately.
156 at 560 WQM. The Mad Dog standing by 2 to 4. Hank from 4 to 6:30. Marlins and the Phillies in Philadelphia. The series of the year, man. Big doings. Even George is excited about, aren't you?
What?
How about, here, this fact, Susie and Weston. Nice going, Susie. I'm glad we got this in before the end of the show. Jew Lieberman. Oh, my God. How could we leave him off of there?
Good point.
I can't imagine just looking at that puss, just that mindless, blank, nerdy look on his puss.
He's beyond nerd.
I think he's even got W beat out, as far as nerdiness.
Mm-hmm. A nebbish.
Well, now, what just happened on the phone there? Everybody just hung up at the same time there at the end? Or was there like a fart on the phone? Look at that.
Wow.
Something very strange happened on there.
They could see the end coming.
Is that what it was? Anyway, we can see the end coming, which gives me time to mention this. Vice President Dick Cheney, anxious to defend the White House foreign policy amid ongoing violence in Iraq, stunned intelligence analysts and even members of his own administration this week by failing to dismiss a widely discredited claim that Saddam Hussein might have played a role in the 9/11 attacks. Evidence of a connection, if any exists, has never been made public. Details that Cheney cited to make the case that the Iraqi dictator had ties to al-Qaeda have been dismissed by the CIA as having no basis, according to analysts and officials. Even before the war in Iraq, most Bush officials did not explicitly state that Iraq had a part in the attack on the U.S. 2 years ago. But Cheney left the possibility wide open in a nationally televised interview 2 days ago, claiming the administration is learning more and more about connections between al-Qaeda and Iraq before the 9/11 attacks. The statement surprised some analysts and officials who reviewed intelligence reports from Iraq. There is no credible evidence that Saddam had anything to do with 9/11, said beady-eyed Senator Bobby Graham, Democrat running for president. There was no such relationship. A senior foreign policy advisor to Howard Dean, the Democratic frontrunner, said it is totally inappropriate for the vice president to continue making these allegations without bringing forward any proof. Vince Canestraro, a former CIA counterterrorism specialist, said that Cheney's willingness to use speculation and conjecture as facts in public presentations is appalling. It's astounding. How do you like that?
Medium.
Astonishing, shocking, unbelievable. In other words, he lies a lot and does it well. Got to be used to it. And by the way, those meetings he had with the energy people?
Yeah. What about
none of your business.
Oh.
Yeah, none of you. He said they were all named none of you. None of your business. So that's the way it goes as we continue. You can hear those goose steps marching along. Where's that article by Jimmy Breslin? Can I read that one last paragraph again since we got him? I probably can't find it. God, I love that article. I might read the whole thing again one of these days this week. In the middle of all these very important polls. You got it, Scott? You got the article? Oh, and I never even got around to all those arrested. It's just a little stalling tactic on my part. Because I probably don't got it. Oh, I do have it. I have it over here. I saved it in my, save the crap pile.
On the bottom.
No, this is about, Don Cox. Now that ain't it. Jesus, God almighty, talk about disorganized. This is bad, Neil. You better start getting with it. Get a little bit more organized. Here it is. Told you. You notice how I stalled off to like the last minute of the show for this? This is beautiful. No, seriously, Jimmy Breslin, we read it yesterday, Fascism in the Name of Security, and he writes about these people that got whisked away in the middle of the night and never got deported. He said that this American government of bigots from the low IQ states can run over our Bill of Rights. Grabbing somebody with no warning in the dark hours is a terrorist act by psalm singers. The only way to defend yourself is to vote them out. Those who don't are fans of fascism. Oh! Nice going, Jimmy. You the man. We asked today who's the biggest nerd of them all. Bill Gates, 127. That was George's choice. I had the winner yesterday by far. Jimmy Stewart. On the coolest of them all. Nerdiest of them all, George had his thumb on it. Bill Gates, 127. Carrot Top, 74. Woody Allen, 50. George W., 35. Paul Schaefer, 31. Rick Riley, 29. Adam Sandler, 19. Brian Norcross, 18. Ben Stein, 16. George Will, 13. Screech Won't, 13. Joe Zagaki's got 12. Mike Lupica, 11. And Ross Perot, a little beady-eyed, big-eared Ross Perot, had 10. The Mad Dog's coming up next. Keep the tapes rolling. I think we got some good stuff coming up again for sure for tomorrow.
Bye. The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
It is so hard.
The hardest
12 inches in football.